Okay, so this is a little bit of an experiment. I am live streaming the State of the Union or whatever the hell this is. Joint session of Congress. I don't know. It's all bullshit. These are all lies. Everything he's saying right now are lies. It's all made up. This whole Doge thing. I gotta say, this has been kind of underwhelming. This is just like Fox News talking or whatever, One America talking points. They're doing these, they're doing Sesame Street in Iraq. $90 million for Sesame Street in Iraq. Yeah, there you go, Arab Sesame Street. So, like, they got good comedy writers. Who writes this stuff? They should be writing for fucking Saturday Night Live. Sesame Street in Iraq is pretty funny, I mean, I gotta say. The thing is they really don't care about spending. God, I don't know if I can really compete with his bullshit. Can you hear that? Can people hear that? Vegan. Oh god, it's kinda dark. I have a dark. This is my first reaction video. This is my first, this is what most people do. Actually. They just, like, sit these scams. You don't wanna know what the fucking scam is. Taking Social Security, calling it a Ponzi scheme, and dumping it all into fucking crypto reserve. That's a fucking scam. Fraud and waste. Trump fraud, it could be his fucking name. His name could be fucking goddamn. I hate JD Vance. I hate looking at these motherfuckers. The Democrats have these little paddles that like they can. So if you're just now tuning in, I'm live streaming the presidential address to the nation. So you have that open in one tab. Oh yeah, there's people 300 years old accepting Social Security. People are older than the United States who are dead. That's our money, god damn it. Wow. We're getting ripped off. They're stealing our tax dollars. They're taking my money and giving it to migrants and dead people. The Democrats are getting these migrants to vote. He's been this is, like, not really any different than one of his fucking rallies, to be honest, except I gotta look at JD Vance's ugly fucking howdy doodly looking ass. God. The thing is JD Vance will do anything they tell him to do. He's just stoked. He can't believe he got this far. He's the fucking vice president. Look at this shit-eating grin on his face. Look at this chubby look at his little fucking manicured beard. He's in the Dollar Shave Club. Why are millennials so obsessed with fucking shaving? Everything millennials do is like a fucking barber shop or some kind of like we're so obsessed with beards. It's all about having some kind of fucking I mean, that was the plague of the 2010s, was all these fucking beards. Dan Bilzerian. It was just an excuse for ugly guys with acne scars to, like, trick people into thinking they're hot. Millennials have been really grasping for a kind of masculinity. That's what the whole fake mustache thing was about. The whole, like, lumberjack fetish, like the Nick Offerman kinda, like, flannel thing is, like, they're trying to figure out how to be masculine, and so it's like this ironic, "Oh my god, 360 years of age." This is the same material he does on the fucking road. It's just he's doing his comedy show. Look at the fucking Republicans just eating it up. They're worse than Nazis, to be honest. The Nazis were copying these guys. Didn't Bob Dylan just post some kind of Andrew Jackson fucking thing? Or there was some speech from Masson Anonymous, which I guess is based on Andrew Jackson's farewell speech. So I'm not sure if Bob is MAGA. Is Bob like a crypto bro? Oh, please. He is gonna do no such fucking thing. What a crock of shit. Probably the opposite will happen. He's gonna crash this motherfucker. His hair looks weird. When he came out, I mean, there's all this controversy with his health, right? There's bruises on his hands. His foot looked weird, I guess. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Oh yeah, the gold card. This was the newest thing. Trump is gonna sell for $5 million. You can buy citizenship. Buy a pass. Just people with money obviously they know how they're obviously better than us. They deserve to be here because they made money. They made that much money. They gotta be good people. They gotta be worthwhile people who bring tons of value. They're rich. It's just this is tired material. We've heard this jokes already. This shit plays better at, like, an arena. It's kinda weird hearing it in, like, a chamber, the site of so much history recently, January 6th. Oh, the Democrat. He's gonna blame Biden the whole time. I'm surprised he brought up the price of eggs because he's drove it through the roof. Oh god, how many times are you gonna stand up, you fucking ass kissers? There's no fucking mandate. There's no mandate. People do not like what's happening. It's outrageous what's happening. It's probably not a bad idea to clean house on the government. This is not the people that should be doing it. Let's fire all the park rangers. How about that? Fire all like the weather people, the meteorologists, the people who like I saw that's like the people that test like the safety of the seafood we eat. Like who does that benefit? I guess the businesses that sell that shit by deregulating it, they can just cut all kind of fucking corners and Unelected bureaucrats, you mean like Elon Musk? So if you're just now joining us, we're watching the presidential address. We're roasting this fucker. We're fact checking in real time. Not for everybody, only for the richest people. Not for the poor people. We're gonna pay more. We don't like you. No one likes you. I mean, this is the shit that people see and they go, both sides are the same. They're all in an echo chamber. They're both cults. You know, half the fucking people stand up, the other half people stay seated. If it was Democrats, it'd be reversed. But it's a false equivalency. I I'm trying to figure out what his angle is on this no tax thing. Like, you know, he doesn't actually give a fuck about that, and they want to get rid of Social Security. Elon literally said it was the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time, which is it's outrageous. Payments. Oh boy. Let's get more people leasing cars. This is just all fucking lies. This is the same shit that he said when he was campaigning. It's like one of his fucking campaign speeches. There's no point in even watching this. I thought it was gonna be some kind of hot television like the Zelensky conference. The Zelensky, WWE. That totally was like a wrestling. It was like Triple H and fucking McMahon. Mike Johnson's a piece of shit too. Look at that fucking smirky little creep. Bullshit. During the campaign, this shit worked because, like, I don't know, people just had this weird kind of like euphoric honeymoon with him after he got shot or after he faked the assassination attempt. There was this weird kind of like good old Trump kind of vibe. And comedians, I blame comedians. I think we do have to make stand-up comedy illegal. That's my new platform. When I am president, stand-up comedy will be illegal. There's too many toxic idiots. You should have to get a license or something. In order to get on stage in front of people and, like, act like some kind of authority, you should have to have some kind of license. There should be regulation, should be heavily regulated, stand-up comedy. We're putting tariffs, we're slapping tariffs. I mean, that's kinda what the $5 cover charge is. It's kind of a tariff. You wanna try to be a stand-up comedian, you gotta we're slapping a tariff on you. Very unfair. He does this thing on the podium. Very unfair. It's bullshit. They're already all slapping tariffs, retaliatory tariffs on us. So the price of everything is about to go up. Vegetables, fruits, eggs, cars. Canada is our biggest oil trading partner, I guess. We or like most of the energy we get is from fucking Canada, right? They're threatening to shut off electricity in New York and a lot of these states, Pennsylvania, well, I don't know, Vermont, and in retaliation to this dumbass. Somebody's gotta die. One of these people. It's bullshit. He doesn't understand how they work. It's just an excuse to rip us off. They wanna steal all of our fucking money and time, and they're gonna use this as an excuse to raise the price of everything, just like the inflation, just like the stimulus money. They're gonna be like, "Oh, well, we gotta charge you more for your car or whatever because it's good for the country. We gotta bring the manufacturing back home." I'm glad these fucking Tesla stocks are crashing. You know, the reason why Warren Buffett has all this cash, the Oracle of Nebraska, meanwhile, is bankrupt because they deported all the illegals who do all of the work and pay all of the taxes. And Warren Buffett's got all this cash, right? He's liquid because he knows the shit is going to crash and then he's going to buy shit. He's going to buy everything cheap. They're going to crash this motherfucker. It's a hard reboot. They think it's a fucking startup that you can just fire everybody and, like, streamline. That's all disruption. You know, with the thing is with these tech companies, they don't make anything. It's all the only people that theoretically make something are the programmers, and they're gonna be taken over by AI, right? Tech is invisible, it's non-tangible, it's this sort of, uh other than the phones and the computers themselves, it's like it's not like manufacturing where there was an actual product, so there was actual labor and shit. It's like now it's like these tech companies they can afford to streamline and to minimize and to cut all of their employees and shit because they're not making anything really. It's like once you have Twitter going, it's like yeah, you can kind of fire everybody because it's like what the fuck? It's just an app. As long as you have the people that run it. The government's not like that. The government is like this big the bureaucracy is the point, you know? It's like these are good jobs for people. They're not that demanding. They're stable usually until now. That's not a that's not a bad thing. You know, this is a big country. It's a big part of the economy. You just wanna fire, like, this huge fucking shut the fuck up. This guy needs to shut the fuck up. See, I was gonna watch, but it's just like he's just repeating the same shit he always says. I'd like to see him he should do a weave. I wanna see what he really thinks. Just let him do a weave. Trump live from the fucking House of Representatives, from the Capitol. Just do your little Andrew Dice Clay fucking set. We don't need this. Where's Theo Vaughn? Is he at the State of the Union? Is Tony Hinchcliffe there? Fuck the comedians. They did this. It's their fault. It's bad male stand-up comedians. How did they get so much fucking power? They are the voice of stupidity in this country. Bad male comedians. They're the voice of just being a fat, stupid, indulgent moron. Like even Louis C.K. is like, remember, I'm fat. My penis is fucking a piece of shit. My hilarious. Your soul. Oh my god, there's so much soul. Your soul. And Trump is the king of the fucking clowns. That's all he the fuck is. He needs to end up like Gaddafi. We need to Gaddafi all these motherfuckers, okay? Well, just look up what happened to Gaddafi. That's what happens to these despots. They get Gaddafi. They get Luigi. I think Luigi set the fucking tone, Luigi is the template. We need more fucking Luigis. We need more resourceful Ivy League, desperate victims of the healthcare industry. But that's kind of an incel thing. I mean, look what happens when guys don't get laid. Crazy shit. Fascism, assassination, bad stand-up comedy. Trump does this weird thing with love. He's always acting like he's affectionate towards things. Like, "I love you. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful bill. I love it. It's a beautiful we can have the most beautiful wall. I love kicking illegals out of this country. It's beautiful. We're gonna have the most beautiful bankruptcy. It's gonna be beautiful. I love it. This guy looks like a real sweetheart. He looks like he's got an IQ of about 35. That's okay. We don't need to hold that against him, but, he's not gonna be the most skeptical, er he's not gonna be a fact checker probably. He's not probably a big fact checker. He's probably more of a shoot from the hip guy. I've been thinking about Ted Lasso. I haven't seen Ted Lasso, but my impression of it is it's about, like Ted Lasso's like a good guy. It's like, wow, isn't that incredible? That's revolutionary that, like, it's a good male character. Like, he's just a good person. It's like, yeah, because we have lived in this culture of, like, the anti-hero and glamorizing being a heel, being a bad boy. The media did used to be full of, like, good guy representation. I don't know, whatever happened to Gary Koopa, the strong silent type? But our culture has glamorized and made it seem like it's just some big joke, and people confuse politics for fucking entertainment, which it is not. It's supposed to be boring and sanctimonious and have this sense of decorum. It's not supposed to be fucking wrestling. It's not supposed to be fucking Raw. It's not supposed to be WWE Raw is War. It's not SmackDown. It's boring. It's boring people. The more boring the politician, the better. That's why Hillary and Kamala were the best candidates because they had no charisma whatsoever. That's a good sign. That means they're good at their how else would they have gotten where they are? They had to have been good at their jobs. They have absolutely no riz whatsoever. Trump, on the other hand, he's all riz. He's just a big fucking how's the audio on this, by the way? Are you hearing Trump or is it interfering with me or I'm just gonna check real fast. Stand up, keep standing up, everybody. I bet Trump loves this. Yeah, stand up. Keep standing up for my fucking ass. The computer themselves, it's like it's manufacturing where there's an actual product, actual labor, and but now these tech companies they can afford to streamline and to minimize and to cut employees and shit because they're not it's like once you have Twitter going, and fire. Okay, so the government's not like 21,000,000 people. Oh, yeah. A lot of those 21,000,000 people are murderers. They're all fucking murderers, and they eat dogs. Oh, Biden, Biden, Biden. Just like Hillary. Just blame Obama. It was Obama. It's Obama and Hillary. Obama and Hillary. Obama and Hillary. Biden, Biden, Biden. Sleepy Joe. I don't know why I'm obsessed with Saturday Night Live. I guess because the part they played in the downfall of our democracy, but they're still I think they've done a huge about face since Trump has reclaimed office. They're doubling down on their, bigoted, comedy, and, uh, Jesus Christ, stolen from us by a savage. Oh god, they hammer this fucking migrant thing, man. But what have they done about this since it's just weird because immediately they go in and it's all financial. It's all, "Let's fire people. Let's let's focus on the money immediately." It doesn't seem like they've been that's the way they frame this Ukraine issue as well, is like, "Oh, Zelensky just wants money." All these politicians are making all this fucking money. It's like, "Oh, they only make $500,000 a year, yet they have $30,000,000. How'd that happen? How's Pelosi so rich?" Zelensky just making himself rich. They want the war to go on. They wanna get invaded so they can get fucking money from us, so they get our tax dollars. I'm working my construction job. I'm a contractor. I do HVAC. I want my money going to fucking Zelensky. Meanwhile, give Israel whatever they want. Give them fucking carte blanche. Mm, this is just fucking propaganda. I thought it was gonna be more interesting. This is just the same old shit. Redundant. But they're hammering this fucking border thing. It's like, what have they done since Obama and Biden deported way more people. I think it's true, like factually correct. Like Biden, or at the same point in his administration, Biden had deported more people than Trump. If that's what people want. Obama too. I think Obama deported more people than fucking. Yeah, what? I guess there was that ICE thing. They fucking. I don't know. I guess they did do some kind of big sting operation. Fucking assholes. They didn't fire those people. They weren't like, let's get rid of all the ICE agents. Let's fire. I guess they did fire the FBI. The demon rats. I mean, the Democrats need better nicknames for the Republicans. The Republicans do have better they're better. I mean, I guess it's because they're bullies and they're insult comedians. Their names aren't that great. They're just kind of crooked Hillary. It's not that great. It's just kind of dumb. It's like something you'd read in a comic strip like 100 fucking years ago. Sleepy Joe. But Demon Rats is kind of funny. MSDNC is funny. I don't know. I guess we have our share of fucking names for Trump, but Jesus Christ. It's just weird. I feel like Democrats are in shock, or Where's the opposition? They've got their little paddles. They've got their little ping pong paddles with, little Instagram hashtag viral meme, slogan. Millennial, non-serif font. Oh, I can't stand looking at JD Vance and his fucking his Metro beard. His grooming is just way it's too much for me. I can't handle it. It's everything I hate about my lifetime and people my age. In Ohio. Oh, ye Ay, ay. Are they gonna play YMCA at the end? When did the Village People come out? And Hulk Hogan? How come Hulk Hogan isn't here? Why doesn't he just let Elon give the fucking speech? Just let Elon get up there and fucking run his fucking mouth, and with his kid. Look at his satanic autograph. Trump has absolutely the most satanic looking signature, bar none, of anybody ever. It's completely sinister. It looks like some kind of demonic gothic cathedral or something. It's got flying buttresses and steeples and bat bats in the belfry. Oh, here we go. The Venezuelan prison gang. So yeah, we're watching the presidential address live. It's like Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd. It just played this at the same time as that. You know how you sync it up? You sync up Wizard of Oz and Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. This is like the worst version of that. Put on Trump, State of the whatever the fuck this is, whatever the fuck we have. I don't know if I call it a union at this point. I think push is going to come to shove this year. I think 2025 is the year the shit hits the fan for real. All over the world. I mean, he's not just fucking with us at this point. He's fucking with everybody. Europeans, Ukrainians, Palestinians. Great day. It's pretty intense. I mean, a Hispanic border patrol agent. There you go. What about DEI, man? Is that guy a DEI hire or returning fire? Okay, so, these are, like, stories. I guess they always do this during this, they'll, like, tell stories of people across the country, and it's like our policies in action and real people, and, uh, I'm doing this show tomorrow in the Bronx, and I'm judging a punk rock fashion contest. It's an open mic. I've never done a show in the Bronx. I'm excited to go up there. I think it's in Hunts Point, so come on out if you wanna do an open mic in the Bronx. It looks like a cool venue. It looks like a big stage, lights and stuff, so it's a bar, so it'll probably be pretty cool coming out. I'm gonna judge this contest, so shout out to Figment MC for, asking me to do it. I'm looking forward to it. And then, next Tuesday, we're at, Young Ethel's. That's a Nebula. I'll be playing some guitar, Shepherd's Pie, um, Who's Your Daddy, Young Ethel's 1 week from today, 9:30. Oh, it's not even worth I was watching Democracy Now! Today, and I thought one of the strengths of their reporting was they weren't chasing the way they reported the Ukraine story was very neutral. They didn't even include anything of Trump, really. They were talking about because I don't know, they're kind of pro, uh, like Jeffrey Sachs thinks that, Trump is like the right one on this issue. And the Democrats and NATO once again are the aggressors and blah, blah, blah. And so that's kinda how Democracy Now! Sees it. And, the reporting is not quite as, um, hysterical. I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit going on. So, I mean, particularly that fucking scene in the Oval Office. I mean, Jesus Christ. That was, pretty unsettling. Okay, pointing at the Democrats. They're lunatics. The demon rat. I mean, what are we gonna do? They're about to start World War IX. I mean, there's gonna be a civil war. I think there's gonna be a civil war in the United States and a world war. It's just gonna be one kind of like continuous fucking war. We're gonna fight Canada, Greenland. There's gonna be, there's gonna be an invasion of Greenland. We're gonna do some kind of land, air to sea to land invasion, like D-Day on Greenland. We're gonna Canadian. What's that Canadian Bacon? Is that the Michael Moore movie? Jesus Christ. Michael Moore predicted all this. They laughed at Michael Moore. I guess we'll have to watch Canadian Bacon. Is that what it's called? The one where they invade the I guess I should have enjoyed the last couple years a little bit more. That was probably unfair to everybody. Not that I mean, they were nice, but this year, woo, I mean, it can get intense fast, but I don't know, maybe that's it doesn't feel right to go back to business as usual, frankly. Fuck the status quo, fuck businesses. I think the pandemic showed us all a better way, you know, where we could just write poetry in the park on our typewriters and busk and be Bluetooth stand-up comedians in the park and vlog and travel and do live streams and be influencers, work on our, music career, work on our recordings, our our vibey yacht rock, our vibey ex zillennial, yacht rock. We had a great open mic last night, I mean, this is just boring. This is just typical politics shit. I don't think even Trump people are gonna like this. They're just gonna be like, "This sucks. Do something crazy, man." You gotta give them more content. You gotta work at McDonald's or something. It's weird how old-fashioned this seems with him doing it. Mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Mandatory death penalty. Is that a thing? Is there anything where there's a mandatory death penalty? You know, even murderers will get, like, 400 life sentences. I've always thought that was kind of a weird put "We're gonna give you 300 consecutive life sentences." Like, it's like a little kid being like, "You're dead infinity times." "No, I killed you infinity times." "I gave you infinity life sentences." Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my god, where did they find this is nuts. Brain cancer survivor. He's also not white, so it looks like they're not racist, but he wants to be a cop. Isn't that great? He's from Texas. Damn. I mean, that's real as hell. You know, we're all one family, one love, everybody, one love. How do we embrace our evil satanic Trumper? They know not. Oh God, I can't even watch. It's too this is too intense. Oh God. Oh my God. What happened? Good for him. Good. He wants to be a cop? That's so disappointing. You know, I don't know. You think if you I don't know, you want to do something cool or you're an artist or something, like a musician or something, I don't know. Teacher, a DJ. I want a gun and a badge. I want to be able to arrest people. I mean, I'm not the most anti-police. I try to be, I mean, that is an aspect of my white privilege, I would say. Is like I have never had a really bad experience with the cops. Cops have always been really nice to me. I should admit that on the internet. I can admit that. I will I mean, I've been pulled over a number of times and I've never really, thank God, had any kind of like major run-in with a cop. But then again, I've never really done anything that illegal either. I'm generally a law-abiding citizen, to be honest. About the only time I've ever broken the law was I got a ticket for jumping the turnstile, like about a decade ago. That's about it. And I smoked weed until they legalized it. That's about it. But, and what, is this illegal? Make stand-up comedy illegal. That's my new platform. Make stand-up comedy illegal. When we get through this, when America destroys itself and lay in ruins and we realize that we have to change like Germany after World War II, because we are Germany now, we have to make stand-up comedy illegal. What the hell was I talking about? Oh, I knew I shouldn't have changed subjects. This is a problem I have is I change subjects too often. Um, fuck. I was talking about Trump is it's really irritating that they're not applauding for Trump. That he's like, "Ah, I can't these people are not applauding. It's driving me nuts. I just need applause, applause, applause. I need it, I need it, I need it." Or I'm gonna, you know he's doing what comedians do. He's attacking the audience. "You motherfucker, shut up while I'm talking." "Didn't mean to offend you." Oh, what was I just talking about? There was something that I needed to finish. Fuck. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have taken the fork in the road. Millennial. God damn it, I can't remember. I need to hold on. What was I just talking about? I just need to mute Trump for a second while I remember. What he's saying is not important. It's just the same talking points. It's just blah blah blah. I thought it was going to be a lot more interesting than this. When is Pelosi's interest music gonna hit? When do you get the glass breaking and Pelosi coming out and doing a fucking stone cold stunner to this cocksucker? Can we get AOC to come out and Hurricane Rana, the son of a bitch, from the top rope? Let's get Fetterman in there. Choke slam this fucking asshole off the. Fetterman's like Kane. Fetterman could be Kane. You could put the Kane outfit on Fetterman, and I'm pretty sure he could be the character. He looks just like Kane. He needs to choke slam JD Vance off the fucking balcony through this fucking the the speaker's desk there, the podium. Set the podium on fire. Powerbomb JD Vance to it. God damn it. The Democrats, come on! You need to fight back. Jesus Christ. We're riffing here. We're riffing. This is my audio commentary on the pathetic, redundant, boring, frankly, very boring. I mean, nothing new. Just the same Fox News, unified, one America talking points. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Hannity, Tucker, fucking bullshit. It's just amazing that they've hooked this much of America into their big lies. What was I just? It's gonna drive me nuts that I can't think of what I was just talking about because it seemed important. I knew it was important. I needed to keep talking about it. Anyway, people should see the movie Scarecrow with Gene Hackman and Al Pacino. It's underseen. To me, it's one of the best beat movies. Actually, I don't know if you would technically call it a beat movie because it's only really tangentially related to like beat culture. Not even really. It just reminded me. It reminded me of traveling, doing poetry readings. They're hitchhikers. Gene Hackman kind of has he reminds me of a poet that I started out with. They have a similar kind of physicality, and I'm more like Al Pacino in that movie. But just traveling the kind of cities and in bars, filming it. you know? It's a great movie for that, and the cinematography is beautiful. It's really just an adventurous, kinda magical. I mean, Hollywood would never make a movie like that now. It's just or I don't know, it would never get seen. There probably are people making movies like that. Um, Gotta watch Scarecrow in honor of Gene Hackman. A lot of the movies he did were fucking, like, just military. He's almost like everything is like a fucking Tom Clancy. It's like Enemy of the State, Behind Enemy Lines, Crimson Tide. He's always playing some military guy. He's in some military movie with Costner, or he's a cop, he's Popeye Doyle. Oh, we were talking about cops. The kid wanted to be a cop. Oh, my relationship with cops. That's what I was talking about. That's what's important. See, I knew it always comes back. If you stop and you try to find it, you just embarrass yourself. You just gotta keep talking because it's always now, and it'll come back, and if it doesn't, who cares? It's a weed to be continued. We'll leave that tab open, it's like a browser. You've got 50 tabs open at once. That's how a conversation works. You got 50 tabs open at once, and you might go back and you might not, but it's there. So cops, I guess that's my white privilege. This is dawning on me right now. I mean, I got the town I grew up had kind of we called it a border patrol, because it was racist, to be honest. There was a police force in Grandview Heights, and they parked there was only a few choke points to get into our town. Our town really only had about 10,000 people, but it was nested among a bigger Midwestern city, Columbus. So you were in a big city, but it kind of felt like a small town, and it was almost like a walled community because there was a river on one side, or 2 sides really, and then, a freeway on one it was just like there was only a few ways to get into the town. There was only a few roads which led into Grandview, and there was always a cop parked there, and so, if you came especially at night, they were gonna be on your ass if you were doing anything wrong. And if you they would be on you, particularly if you looked like you were not from Grandview, which was a mostly white community and sort of, middle class. There wasn't that many poor people. If your car was janky or something, you were definitely gonna draw suspicion. And so people got pulled over a lot, and I got pulled over a number of times when I was a kid. Uh, it's crazy. All these memories are flooding back now. I never really did anything that, one time I was coming down First Avenue, I was going like I knew I was going fast. It was right after school, and I was going probably 30 or 35 miles per hour. I knew it was a 25 zone, so I'm coming around a curb and I hit my brakes to slow down, but the cop already saw me. So she pulled me over. She was super nice about it. They let me go with a warning. They didn't give me a ticket. Every time I got pulled over by the cops, they let me go with a warning. And they were always, they're cops. They're not really nice. That's part of their job is to just be kind of like this kind of like intimidating, like it's almost like they're fishing or they're wanting, they're trying to get, they're just like they're kind of like bullying without saying anything. Like they just want to kind of have this like intimidating presence and let you kind of like talk yourself into a hole or something. They're not going to be nice. They're not going to smile or anything. I mean, they were relatively kind or whatever, but I was never really harassed that much by the police. My brother, on the other hand, got pulled over a lot by the cops. I don't really know why. Maybe because he had red hair, maybe just the kind of cars that he drove. I think he had a different relationship to authority. I always respect police, like I try not to be involved at all. I don't look at the police. I don't wanna draw attention from the police. I don't wanna talk to the police. Let them do their job, like, if I'm on the fucking train late at night, like, and shit's weird, like, it's definitely comforting to have a police officer nearby in certain circumstances. I don't look for that, but, you know, I don't go out of my way to have, like, bad encounters with the police or, like, confront them or something. It's just like I don't wanna be involved with them in any way. I don't wanna draw attention to myself. I just wanna live my life, and hopefully, I don't need the police ever, I guess that's privilege. Uh, the police are not really used against me, I guess. But in any case, yeah, in Grandview, coming home late at night, you would get I got pulled over in front of my house once, I never drove home that drunk, but, like, living in Columbus, Ohio, it's like there's no mass transit and everybody drives everywhere because you have to. It's just a completely oil dependent, car dependent sprawl. That's how they want it, and so, like, if you drink at all, like, everybody drives their own car everywhere. It's not like people even go to stuff together a lot of the time. It's like, if I go to a family event or something, there's gonna be 12 cars, and, if people drink, it's like, what are they supposed to do? I guess now there's Uber and shit, that's more of a thing, but in college, I definitely drove home pretty regularly after having, like, probably 2 or 3 beers. I tried to be as responsible about it as I could possibly be. I always, like, waited and drank a lot of water and this and that, I missed out on a lot of fun in college, frankly, because I didn't just binge drink. I couldn't. I had to drive home. I couldn't stay on campus for whatever reason, parking or this or that. So I'd drive to campus, park somewhere, I'd walk to some college party with my theater friends or my other friends and, drink Miller Lite or High Life or Natural Ice or whatever the fuck it was. Uh, Natty Ice, usually, Natty Light. I think Natural Light, right? That was what we drank in college at Ohio State University in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. Natty Light. That was the cheapest beer. You could get cases of it, 24 beers. So, Sean or whatever, Brandon would come over with cases of Natty Light. Our friends had a house on campus that they rented, so that's where I partied. My friends from high school, so I drive there and park, and, it's just a shitty double or whatever, no furniture, it stinks of beer, the floor is all sticky. It was a great life, in other words, and just everybody from our high school would come to these parties. Not everybody, but a lot of people from our high school, and then these were pretty big parties every fucking weekend. There was beer pong, of course, Jesus Christ. And we were definitely the lame guys playing acoustic guitar at the party. That's who we've always been, okay? Hate us if you must. It's who we are. We're troubadours. The fascists have trained society to be too cool for troubadours. You gotta be a fucking techno DJ or something. You gotta have a big pedal board to impress people. God forbid you actually have technique or something. Fuck that. Or just play songs. Fuck all that. Fuck, like, chord changes and melodies. You gotta have a fucking, you gotta be a techno DJ. That's what women like to listen to. They wanna hear some kind of computer music that sounds like robot fucking. Take anything with any swing. Take all the swing out of it. I guess that probably does have swing. I don't know anything about it. I've always been stuck fucking 20th century guitar land, like I'm fucking Les Paul or Marty McFly or something. Guitar looks like a big fucking, like, radio from the '30s or something now. It's like, it's got this big wheel on it. What the fuck did I kazoo. I need my David Berman kazoo. You hear me? Testing, 1, 2. I don't even give a fuck about what Trump's saying. It's not important. It's just bullshit. It's all fucking bullshit. It's because it's not I don't really know how to play them. Um, what was I saying? His memory has gone back up. Police. My favorite band. Maybe I'm just too sympathetic of a kind. The Police were like one of my favorite bands in high school. They were my top 5, definitely. I still love the Police. One of the best shows I've ever been to, the Police. I saw them in Cleveland. They kicked ass. It was unbelievable. They shredded so hard. Sting's voice was absolutely huge, massively huge. It was like what's that skiing that they do where they fly? It was like that. The fuck is it called? Yeah, so we're live streaming that fucking joke of a boring ass. This is the worst. He's bombing. Trump, you're bombing. He's boring. The special sucks, dude. This is way worse than Chappelle's new special. I think it's better than Shane Gillis on Saturday Night Live, but it's worse than Chappelle. When is Trump gonna host SNL again? I think he should be the first president to host SNL while he's president. Why the fuck not? More and suck his dick some more. Suck Pete Davidson's dick some more. And all of the fucking trash of this culture. All of the garbage of this shit culture. Let's flush it down the fucking toilet. That's my fucking slogan. Fuck draining the swamp. We're gonna flush the fucking toilet. We're gonna flush the shit out of Washington. All the fat shit that is clogging the fucking pipes in Washington. We are plunging the fucking diarrhea, the DC diarrhea, okay? Call the plumber. Call Luigi. We're flushing the shit, okay? Proctor, 2028. I'm running for fucking president. I will kill Trump in the fucking election. I will out Trump Trump. I will beast on this motherfucker. We're flushing the shit out of Washington. We're flushing the crypto shit. We're giving universal basic income, okay? We're nationalizing Amazon and Twitter. Twitter is now a public utility. It belongs to the people. God damn it. Everybody's a shareholder now. If you're on Twitter, you are now a shareholder. And you get paid approximately on the artistic quality of your content. It's not about views or likes or any of that bullshit. It's about artistic integrity. God damn it. In the socialized nationalist Twitter of Proctor regime. When I'm dictator emperor after Trump, stand-up comedy will be illegal. Marijuana will be mandatory. There'll be yearly psychedelic holidays on the solstice. Solstices and equinoxes will be psychedelic Burning Man raves everywhere. Everywhere. People will be doing shrooms and LSD. Can I say that on the internet? Elect me as your emperor dictator, and we will fucking have the greatest time of our lives. It will be the greatest 4 to 8 years of your fucking life. Vote for look at the way I run the open mic, okay? What is America but a giant open mic? And, everyone will be happy. It'll be the greatest 4 years of your life, and I'm the emperor dictator. Oh boy, I was having too much fun, my tooth started hurting. No one is watching, literally no one is watching my, but I do have 3 likes in there. Making to support you assholes. I mean, I've been kind of, if you break the trust with your audience, you jerk them around, which I've kind of been doing. I turn the chat off, and I've been kind of catty with my streaming. Last week I didn't really do it at all. I forget how fun it is. But I don't know. I mean, this setup is just so gnarly. I mean, this visual is really just not good at all. It's really just meant to, I mean, well, I guess this is no worse really than the Bulwark. All that fucking guy does is like a Zoom, it's basically a fucking Zoom call. It's like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna release this content, a podcast." We record our Zoom meetings podcast. It's a movie now. It's a TV show. It's getting higher ratings than, like, scripted dramas. Network scripted. What's Trump saying? Well, I mean, I'm reading the subtitles here, paying attention. It doesn't look like anything crazy. Soy bomb hasn't showed up or anything like that. You know, when soy bomb shows up, then it'll get interesting. But this is pretty boring, Trump. This is pretty shitty TV. There's no pyro or anything. I thought this was gonna be like Camacho. Well, I guess he is cutting away. Look at this girl, she's tatted up. She was like, she's taking a PS1 with Kamala's Times Square. So is Dimes Square like apolitical? How are you feeling about the crypto rift? They're all on the fucking payroll. The whole podcast sphere. These tech people, they see their chance to just capture everything, and they're going for it. You know, they're gonna control what we see. Case in point, no one is watching my stream. They're shadow banning me because my truth is too powerful, and too fucking on point. I'm too like I'm too ahead of the game. It's chess, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's sort of using those skills, trying to see where the moves lead. You know, trying to guess what their strategy, guess what they're really thinking behind. You know, Trump as a chess player, he reminds me of Ezra Wallach. Ezra Wallach was like the Rush Limbaugh of my school in elementary school. He was my nemesis. He was right wing. His dad was like a Rush Limbaugh, you know, fanatic. He was a ditto head, and I'm sure he's MAGA. The last time I checked on Ezra, I looked him up on Facebook probably like I don't know 15, 20 years ago, and it was all of his Facebook pictures. He had guns. He had automatic weapons in every Facebook picture. So not much has changed. He was a hemophiliac. He wore a helmet. Not that that's important, but that was part of the. He looked like Rodney Dangerfield. He was kind of like, but I don't know. You know, in the same way that like I don't know, he was part of the chess club, And I don't know if I'd say I got along with him, but, like, he was kinda my friend. We would debate politically all the fucking time in 2nd grade. As seven-year-old, we would debate Democrat versus Republican because I wanted to be the president even then. Even then, I wanted to give everybody free money and free healthcare. And, so Ezra Wallach was like I don't even he was pro-gun, we would debate that a lot, he loved guns. He claimed that when Clinton 'cause Bill Clinton was president, it was, like, early in Bill Clinton's presidency, um, but I knew Ezra Wallach for a few years, all through elementary school into middle school. He moved away in probably, like, 6th grade or something, but, he was a good athlete. It was a shame that he was a hemophiliac because he was a good quarterback, or at least he pretended that he was. I mean, he wore a helmet all the time anyway, so, but he's probably an insult comedian now. He's probably a stand-up comedian or he probably has some kind of fucking kick stream or something. He's probably psyched about MAGA. I'm sure he's fucking psyched about it. He probably has a truck that's painted I don't who God knows. But in any case, we would argue his strategy as a chess player was to just intimidate you and talk shit and sorta get into your head and just be obnoxious. He used to say, "Booyah to you all." He had all these, like, chants that he would do, like, constantly, like, snapping his fingers and clapping his hands and just making stupid fucking noises to just sort of, like and I would 'cause he probably could tell that was my weakness, that I would get in my own head and sort of trip over myself because I was very scared to lose. I was very nervous that to me, it was like a test of intelligence, and if Ezra Wallach beat me in chess, then I'd just be like, "Oh my god, he proved that he's smarter than me." I had there's no way I could ever lose to fucking Ezra Wallach in chess. And I don't know if I ever did really, but, "Ezzy Wezzy ain't no lezzy." That was something he would say. That was one of his, like, elementary school taunts, Ezzy Wezzy. He wasn't really a bully. I guess he probably could just tell but I don't know, I mean, you could tell he probably just felt insecure or something. "People watch Friends are gay." That was something he yelled across the classroom and when Friends was on. I think that was, like, 4th grade when Friends came on, and so I think somebody in the classroom was talking about Friends, and they liked it. I think that person did later turn out to be gay, actually. I watched Friends when it came on. I lived for, like, must-see TV. That was, like, the most exciting thing culturally going on in 1984. It's like MTV, Beavis and Butthead, Green Day music shit, fucking whatever, Smashing Pumpkins or whatever the fuck was going on, and, Creep, TLC, Boyz II Men, uh, and must-see TV. The Single Guy with Jonathan Silverman, Caroline in the City with, whatever the fuck her name was, Lee Thompson. Brooke Shields had a fucking sitcom that I watched, Suddenly Susan, Judd Nelson. I watched a lot of that garbage. I was raised on this shit. TGIF, Family Matters, Step by Step. I loved Step by Step. Cody lived in the fucking van. Step by Step was dope. I think it's aged well. Step by Step. What else? Urkel, of course. Mr. Cooper, hanging with Mr. Cooper. Uh, I watched all that shit. Or maybe I just like the bad jokes. Who knows? I didn't really watch Mad About You or anything like that. Evening Shade. Uh, okay. In any case, Trump's speech was bullshit. It wasn't even worth listening to. we're on an override here. We just said, "Hey, fuck you, man. We're gonna take this. We're taking this because you're just blah blah blah." Okay, 5 minute time limit's up, big brother. Thank you. Like somebody else. Stupid bullshit. I mean, the Democrats were very passive aggressive. We're just gonna sit here. We're not gonna say anything. We're gonna clap. We're gonna raise our little signs. Fuck you. We're gonna be pissy. We're gonna be catty. We're biding our time. What can we do? There's not a whole lot that can be done at this point. It's winter. They're just coming out like gangbusters with all these policies. Okay, so it's kind of like how Ezra Wallach played chess. A lot of bluster. It's meant to kind of get you destabilized and get you going, "Oh my god, I'm nerding out, I'm hyperventilating. Oh, I'm spazzing." Ezra Wallach would always try to get a reaction out of him and be like, "Whoa, you're a spaz. Spaz down." That was like the worst thing you could do as a, you know, elementary schooler, was like react. Then you would just get made fun of mercifully. "You're a fucking spaz." That was like the worst insult. "You're a fucking spaz. Spaz down." No, I will not spaz down. There's global warming. Do you not know about fucking global warming? Check, check, check. Is this thing on? Damn it. Is it not this? Is it this? Yeah, what's this? It's gotta be this, right? Check, check, check. It's not really getting any louder here. Like, let me just check in real fast with this. Yeah, so it's like President Ezra Wallach. It's just like they're kind of coming out of the gate with all this shit, and I mean the Ukraine thing is really scary. The Canada thing is nuts too, where it's like, what is this? We're seriously like possibly gonna like get into some kind of conflict or like invade Canada or something. Like, what on earth? I mean, I understand it's once again it plays into the Russia thing where it's like they want to have they know global warming is happening and they know that the Arctic is going to melt and it's going to be a trade route. Russia wants it to happen because they don't have any fucking shoreline in their country except on the north, right? Which traditionally has been cold as balls. You can't, it's ice. You can't ship really over that. Whereas if global warming happens, bam, all of a sudden Canada and North Canada might be very nice beachfront property for some Trump condos. Suddenly Thunder Bay and fucking Alaska and shit are looking pretty good. And North Ontario and shit. So we gotta have it. We gotta have Greenland. Greenland could become fucking South America or something. Who knows? If there's desertification, supposedly the whole middle of this country is supposed to just be desertification by the end of the century. And the global south in the equator region, that, with global warming, all of that shit could be arid and sterile. And so that's why he's looking at Greenland and Canada because he knows the fucking temperature is going up. And that's a whole hell of a lot of land. I don't know. I guess Americans want that manifest destiny, bitch. Oh, wait a minute. It's back from the dead. It's not over, actually. We want the North, too. We're going to invade all these white people now. How are we going to, like, be racist against the Canadians? Like, it's easy for Trump to be like, "Oh, these fucking Venezuelan gangs are killing and raping people." What the fuck is he gonna say about Canadian people? These Canadian rapists are coming over our border and murdering our fucking maple syrup, goddammit. Fucking Canadian. The the fucking improv comedy. They're fucking hockey, violent Canadian hockey game. We gotta invade them, these sons of bitches. It's ours now. We want it. It's always been ours. Never should have been theirs to begin with. We're gonna take that. We're taking back Canada to its rightful white people in America. I mean, this is a good stream. It's really a shame nobody's watching. This is funny shit. This is insightful commentary. God damn it. I don't know, man. To me, I don't know. My relationship with stand-up comedy has to change now because it can't be this. Yeah, it's just this is why, and not that people are really fucking paying any attention to what I do at all, but I have had my goddamn finger on the pulse for a long time. I've been vlogging for a decade, okay? I've been doing this for a decade, people. And just have some water. One of the reasons why I got involved with stand-up comedy is it was the battleground. It was a shock to me because I don't pay any attention to that culture whatsoever, and I haven't for a long time, 20 years. I didn't watch any stand-up comedy. I'm not interested at all. It served no purpose in my life. I'm funnier than any stand-up comedy I've ever fucking seen, practically. 95% of all the, like, professionally famous stand-up comedy or comedy or whatever I've ever seen, like, literally people I know are funnier than that, so I don't need it in my life. And yet, kind of in this stealth way, it has ballooned to become, like, this huge culture in this country, largely thanks to the internet, through podcasting, through social media, through Netflix. I don't know, for some reason, that shit is super valuable to Netflix. I'm not sure why, because I guess it's cheaper to produce than some big film or something, but why is stand-up comedy this big thing? It's just it's curious to me, and it has overlap, and it's adjacent to so many of these other things: literature, poetry, oral recitation, lecturing, philosophy, uh, physical, mind, whatever, body, clowning, whatever it is, political commentary like Bill Maher. We love Bill Maher. We're still watching. I can't stand John Oliver. I cannot watch him. I can't stand his voice. I get it. He's like this caricature of some ultra snide British person, like lecturing. He's the ultra, like, finger pointy kind of voice of authority or something. But I just can't do it at all. I like Bill Maher's snide, finger pointy, sarcastic. It's my brand. Maybe it's just because he's American. I buy American, okay? I don't want these woke fucking immigrant late night hosts, okay? I want James Corden, all right? I want James Proctor, okay? Late night slot. No one is watching. Literally, no one is watching. I think I was shadow banned. Oh no, I got one person. Okay. Okay. Oh, the fucking State of the Union is open. It's over, so I don't know why I'm still clicked on it, but it's almost better than watching myself. Just watching that little number tick up and down. Maybe I should just do fucking reaction videos. People watch. me reacting to what am I watching now, the commercials of Stadium. Yeah, so I don't know. I could see it coming. I guess I was naive. It was a shock to me doing these clubs in Manhattan, how right wing they were. It's something I've talked about time and again on this fucking very live stream. It's just like how right wing the comedy scene is. And tracing it up through this kind of like lineage of podcasters to Trump. You know, I mean, when Tony Hinchcliffe was at the fucking Trump rally at Madison Square Garden, in the same fucking building and the same people and the same circumstances with the same fucking production as Kill Tony, which is a fucking open mic live stream, basically. Uh, there's a causality, there's a relation, and there's a whole fucking biosphere of the manosphere, right, is what they're calling it. And guys are just looking for opinions. They're just looking for chat. They're looking for someone to enlighten them, to make them laugh, and to just tell them what the fuck is going on in some way that makes sense, to make sense of it all. That's kind of what a stand-up comedian's job is, actually, I think. Just to, like, make sense of it all. I didn't watch that much of Shane Gillis's monologue on Saturday Night Live, but I was, like, kind of appalled, actually. The skits looked whatever. I mean, I don't it's just like he's not appealing to me as, like, a demographic. Whoever he appeals to is, like, the guys in high school that I partied with in college that, like, I wanted to get away and, he's like this he's very sympathetic to, like, the South. His whole fucking thing about Shelby Foote in the South and shit, like, this kind of fucking weird. This is like a weird dog whistle. Supposedly, he's, like, this authority on history and the presidents and shit, but the thing about asking your girlfriend or whatever if she slept with a black guy is, like, the most absurd thing. It's like anybody that is preoccupied with that is racist. Like, if you ask your girlfriend that like that, you are a fucking racist. If you care about that, you are a fucking racist. If you care that your girlfriend has ever slept with a black person, you are a fucking racist, period. Like, it's not a funny joke. I cannot relate to that, actually, you know? I'm not saying that, like, that's not something that might not ever come up in a fucking conversation under some kind of circumstances, but in no way, shape, or form is it something that I've ever asked anybody that I've slept with, ever. It's never even fucking occurred to me to be like, "Oh, by the way, have you ever slept with a black guy?" Because that, like, matters to me. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, this is 2025. We should be way beyond that. That's what's, like, disappointing about that kind of comedy and, like, SNL platforming it because it's like, it's just not funny or relevant. Like, who the fuck relates to that? Racist fucking Trump people. Like we can't I can't relate to that. So I didn't watch the whole fucking monologue, but I saw that part and I was like, "I'm glad this motherfucker bombed." Apparently, Louis CK told him not to do new material. He told him to do his best stuff. On Saturday Night Live, do your best stuff. Don't do new material because 'cause you're bombed. So he did his best stuff, which I guess is old stuff that he hasn't done in a while. So maybe I can relate to that as a performer. Sometimes you try to do old songs or poems or something, and you're just like, "Yeah, I can't really do this. I'm not really feeling this tonight," and it bombs. It's like, I don't know. It's not a bad idea to lead like, okay, maybe I'll talk about this gig on Saturday to sort of get onto a different subject, but, that's why I'm saying there's a reason why I'm sort of in that space, right? Because I'm trying to make it liberal, for Christ's sake. It's unbelievable how right wing it is. It's like a shock to me. This is something that I grew up, like, obsessed with, comedy and, Saturday Night Live and fucking Comedy Central, all that shit. I watched Conan pretty much every fucking night, so watching him on the Oscars was interesting. I don't really think the shoe fit for him, but it was just like a show. His voice is so strong with his monologue jokes, and they're smart jokes, but I just it reminded me of when Letterman hosted the Oscars. I remember when Letterman hosted the Oscars in, like, '94, whenever that was. I think it was the Pulp Fiction year. Uma and Oprah. I remember Uma and Oprah. I was there. I was there when Uma and Oprah happened, okay? That's how old I am. That was the OJ year. I remember Uma and Oprah. And I don't remember it being, like, the cringiest fucking thing I've ever seen. Conan kind of felt like Uma and Oprah a little bit. Some of his crowd work. The Sandler thing really didn't work. I didn't feel Sandler was doing Sandler voice the whole time. It was, like, too much. It was too much. It's like that shit, it works in kind of like a slapdash, and that's why, not to be devil's advocate, but I don't really know that Conan was the right Tonight Show host. It's just he's more of an alt guy. He's better in, like, a DIY space. That's how his show felt. His show felt like this fun little underground thing almost. Whereas, like, fucking the Oscars, it's like, that's a little too glitzy, it's a little too establishment. I don't know. He did a good job, but I don't think it was, like, really the greatest. It wasn't as good. To be honest, and this is gonna sound insane coming from me, but I think it's obvious that John Mulaney should do it. It's just, like, so obvious that he should do it. He was really he's got that kinda LA I don't know, he's, like, more show busy presenting or something. Conan, he's more kinda like a folk hero or something. I don't He's a man of the people. But in any case, Saturday, okay, so I had the gig Saturday at Caffeine Underground. Shout out to Chris Aguayo. Thank you for having me. It was really a fucking incredible goddamn lineup. I, was stoked to be invited, and, so I don't know, I've just been kind of embracing the guitar for whatever reason. I'm kinda trying, my musical career is just like the 10-year actually, March 6th, Thursday, is the 10-year anniversary of my first gig in New York. They played at Pete's Candy Store, March 6th, uh, 2015 with Holy Smokes. That was sort of my coming out party as, like, an artist in a certain way, and then we bombed. Oh my god, we bombed so hard, it was crazy. Everybody I knew in New York came to this gig. I've never had this many people show up to a gig ever. I mean, people really came into this gig with high expectations, and we bombed so hard because I was so nervous. We were sort of It was our first gig, and it was packed. I mean, there was 30 or 40 people there, and, packed, but it was still amazing, beautiful in its own way. It was very fragile and vulnerable, and, in a way that probably it wouldn't ever be. I don't know. So, in any case, it's like I started out with all these songs in sort of an improvisational group songwriting method with Holy Smokes, and then when Trump got elected, it kind of exploded into free jazz and Wavetable and System Lord and beautiful improvisational, and I still wanna do that, that's still very much a part of my practice, and System Lord is still very much alive, and System Lord will be back soon because the world needs goddamn System Lord now more than ever to kick Trump's ass. We should have been at the State of the Union. System Lord should have just delivered the fucking we kinda look like that. The System Lord gig kinda looks like a State of the Union, um, triumvirate. But in any case, for the past few months, I don't know, I've been kind of like well, since the pandemic, really, I've had these kinda gigs occasionally where I play guitar and do improvisational kind of, spur of the moment songwriting, expanding the songs, jamming the songs out, really playing them, getting as much as I can, exploring them, stretching them. To me, it's like I wanna take a jazz approach to rock songwriting because that's more my background, right, is guitar chords, that songbook, you know, whatever rock and roll. That was sort of what I the cliche of what I copied growing up, and that's still kind of the center of my musical, you know in a certain way, the Wavetable was almost like the Avengers or something, where it was like I was sort of the rock and roll guy, Sarah was jazz and kinda free, and then Bennett and Nevin kind of brought respective qualities of, like, vaporwave and electronic music and sampling and those kind of things, and so it was more of like an amazing blend of kind of a, a polyphony of things. But it's nice as a performer. I don't know, I like the idea of just like a solo performer with an electric guitar, like John Lee Hooker is kind of my template for this. Where it's like John Lee Hooker, could you imagine? I mean, how cool would it be? You walk into a bar and it's just John Lee Hooker with an amp and a fucking microphone, and it's almost like stand-up comedy, except it's just extended it's like a cabaret act, it's like a small club act. I never could figure out how to play guitar by myself, 'cause it's like, with Holy Smokes especially, in that era, I was just jamming with so many people, I was jamming with people all the time, and when you're in a band, it's like you have to learn to let other people fill in. You can't just go, 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 or at least, like, there has to be some plan, you have to have songs, there has to be, like, a template. That was always the war we were fighting in Holy Smokes with, like, we need to rehearse and we need to figure out, whereas with Wavetable, it's just like, "Fuck it, we're gonna improvise everything we ever do ever," which is what I like to do, honestly, but it's scary, particularly in rock songwriting, 'cause you're like, "What if it doesn't work?" Meanwhile, all of these fucking there's an improv musical every night at fucking the Pit or, you know, UCB. They literally improvise an entire fucking rap musical or they freestyle. So it's like you can be in a band where you just improvise s melodies and lyrics and chords. You can do that. Like, that is possible, but my musical vocabulary at that time was somewhat limited. I came from a rock music background, and so it wasn't I didn't really know how to embrace jamming and free playing but also just, like, how you can sculpt that and combine it with, sorta like the Grateful Dead. I think the Grateful Dead is a great and probably the most pertinent example. Bob is somebody I think does it in parallel to them, but, like, the Grateful Dead is a band that I think approaches it like, I was just reading something about, like, they don't even decide what their fucking set lists are before they play. He said they talk about the first 2 or 3 songs they're gonna play maybe, but he said they usually just try to remember who picked first last time. Did Bobby or Jerry pick first? And then they'd go from there. And it's like, well, I was trying to figure out so on Saturday, it's nice. I like this is kind of it's been a hook for me into this to be like, okay, I'm approaching this like it's almost like a spoken word. It's like a combination of all these things and a maximizing it, where you're just kind of like amplifying the song in all ways by doing this talking blues as a form, where it's like John Lee Hooker, where it's just like you're kind of spieling, you're rhyming and stealing your stretch time. It's all one thing, patter song, improv, freestyle rapping. It's really all one thing, writing poetry and pushing poetry out and pushing music out. And I don't know, as a performer and as an artist, I feel like I do better when I'm having to push things out without knowing where it's going actually. Like this or like I was watching because I live streamed the gig. If people are interested, you can watch it. It's a nice mix of songs and improv. But at the time, I was like, "Oh my god," I kinda was all over the place. Because at the end, I started to play the song "Numerical America" because the basis of my set is a lot of these Holy Smoke songs, even though I do other material too. I need to write new songs. That's kinda my new dilemma. Or I just need to write songs on stage. I think that's what I need to move into. It's just like I'm never gonna do it at home alone. I need to do it on stage and record it and then transcribe it and hammer it out from there. Or just keep writing songs forever. I mean, every performance could just be an opportunity to write a whole new set and just it speaks to what is happening and use what happened that day and be truthful and be authentic. Because when you're forced in the moment, you kind of have to adhere to a kind of authenticity, and things have to work, or else people stop listening. Whereas, like, if you're playing something that you wrote already, it's like you kinda just have to go through with the sequence of what the 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 plan is. And so I started to play the song "Numerical America," and as I'm playing, I'm just like I played it the night before at an open mic, so I'm like, "I don't wanna play this song again." And so I'm, in my head, as I'm in front of there's probably 20 people there, and I'm thinking, "Oh, I don't wanna play this song." But I started it, so what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm just gonna, like, continue with the song I don't wanna play that I played last night. I'm kinda, like, just, like, redoubling myself and just, like, being redundant, and so I don't know, something happened where just, like, this song kind of overtook me, and this melody just came to me. Maybe it was copying something in this chord sequence, so I just went with it. And after I played, I was like, "Oh god, what did I do?" I kinda went nuts at the end and, like, my lyrics were not fully formed, they were kind of mumbled, and I was just kind of making sound, but maybe that's the purest form of singing. It was sorta like, that's how Bob sounds now. You can't even understand what fucking song he's playing or what the hell he's saying. The golden age of America has just only begun. Give me a fucking break. I doubt it. Whatever Trump whatever Trump says, the opposite is true. That's rule number 1. Whatever Trump says, the opposite is true, and whatever he accuses the Democrats of is what he is guilty of. Those are the cardinal rules with Trump. Damn Trump, confound him. Um, yeah, and so I was just like, "Jesus Christ, what did I do up there?" I just kinda, like, mumbled these lyrics. I didn't really hook into any kind of narrative or, because to me, when the song it really takes off is when I get a picture and the lyrics just start to tell the story. Like with Street Fighter 2, I mean, I wrote that song in one go. I wrote it in real time. Like, I literally didn't change any of it. It sorta got there were things that were edited out of it, but, they worked the first time I did it. It was just hard to make them work later. So you have to kinda cut the song down to the thing that, like, just works every time. But there's an awesome kinda overpowering beauty when something is it's like that moment when Paul McCart not to compare, but that moment in Get Back when Paul McCartney writes Get Back, everybody points to this moment where it's like, "Holy shit," you can see Paul McCartney writing Get Back in real time. It's like, "Well, how the fuck did you think this shit happens?" And it's like, I don't know. When you're put in a corner, I don't know. That's when explosions happen for me creatively, and so I was watching the set today to just kind of see how it actually went and what I actually did, because I was like, "Oh, I should have just improv the whole time," or I forgot to play a guitar solo. I really when I was younger, it was like nobody wanted to play solos. Nobody knew how to approach guitar solos. Guitar solos just felt like the most wanky, pointless thing. Now it's like I totally love well, I won't say I love guitar solos, but I love playing guitar s not in like a wanky technique way. It to me, it is a way of working out feelings. You put those feelings into your fingers, and you bend it, and you make it sing. You make it talk the way you want it to talk, and I think with Holy Smokes, a lot of times when we got into trouble, it's when we got away from the guitar, because the guitar is really a way to kind of find music that's out of your body. When you're kinda singing or making up lyrics, a lot of times it can be hard to kinda be inspired, but if you're just noodling on a guitar A lot of times things will just music will just happen, and you'll hear something and be like, "Oh, okay, what's that? Let me develop that and pull that into shape, and there it is. Oh, yeah, there's the song. There it is. Yeah, 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 ba ba." And, that can be a beautiful thing, seeing a song kind of take off and arise, just sort of, like, swarms together like a storm or something, and all of a sudden there's this fucking lightning in the air, and holy shit, what's going it's raining, and then it's over, and then it stops. A song is like a rain shower. Songs from the sky, songs from the sky. That's my next album, Songs from the Sky, um, by Shepherd's Pie. That's my new band name. My next band name is gonna be a prog, like a late '60s prog band, like a Uriah Heep or a Blue Cheer or a Moby Grape. Shepherd's Pie. We only play analog equipment, big fucking tube amps, giant tube amps from 1969, and I play everybody plays SGs. We play an SG bass, play an SG guitar, the drummer plays an SG drums. Shepherd's Pie. Yeah, so anyway, Saturday, it's nice, I played some songs the way they're supposed to be played. I did some quiet things that were coherent and not insane. I did a cover song that kinda came out of the blue because I wanted to do a cover song, but I wasn't sure what to do. Nothing was really coming to me, and it just happened in the moment. As I was playing Street Fighter II, at the end, I was like, "Oh, this is kinda the same song as Nervous Breakdown." It's the same chords. That's probably how Street Fighter II was just an unconscious rewrite of Nervous Breakdown by Black Flag. It's literally the same rhythm, it's B and A, basically. I mean, Nervous Breakdown is a lot more complicated, and it's different, melodically and whatnot, but the drive of the song is completely ripped from Nervous Breakdown, because I learned it when I was in college. I loved that song, I could relate to it a lot, but I was also trying to connect with my brother who my brother was, like, into punk rock, which I thought meant he liked Black Flag. Which I think he liked Keith Morris' Black Flag. I don't think he liked Rollins very much. I'm more into Rollins, but, we played it. I played it with my brother, in Chocolate Babies, like, in 2008, 2007. That was a song we did at Bourbon Street. So unconsciously, it's in there. I learned that and, Sonic Producer, Sugar on My Tongue, and so, yeah, I just started playing, Nervous Breakdown at the end of that. And I did play a little over 20 minutes, I think. I think I played, like, 21 or 22 minutes. So I was kinda right. I got off the stage at the end of Nervous Breakdown because I was like, "That's probably 20 minutes." It felt like I played Ghost Behind Me forever. I'm trying to resurrect Ghost Behind Me. It was a song that was hard to get off the ground with Holy Smokes because it just didn't really it wasn't as much. I thought you couldn't write a song with 2 chords. Literally, that was where we were musically. It was just like, you can't do that. Like, that's not a song. You need at least 4 chords in a song or it's not a song. You need a bridge, you need some kind of middle 8 or something. Whereas, like, Goes Behind You, it's literally E and A, and, like, most of my songs are literally they're kinda like Roadrunner. They're kind of unconscious Roadrunner ripoffs. Goes Behind You is kind of a Roadrunner rewrite, where it's like it's E and A, it's just that vamp the whole fucking time, and there's like a stop, and that's kinda what makes it different. And it's like at the time, we're just like, "This song is 6 minutes long and it's 2 chords." Like, you can't do that. It's boring for the audience. It's like, well, there's actually you could have 1 fucking chord, to be honest. Like, you can have 1 chord for 60 minutes if you want. Like, there's nothing that says there's plenty of jazz fucking stuff that's 2 goddamn chords. Like, there's plenty of songs that are 2 chords. And I was looking at it like, "Oh, you need to write some kinda hit song that's 3 minutes long or something." And so I know how to embrace that stuff a little more now, and I think seeing, like, the Grateful Dead, I wish I would've been exposed to that before Holy Smokes, because it would have been a good template for Holy Smokes to be like, "Okay, we'll just sort of be like the Grateful Dead in our approach. We'll just, like we have these songs, and we'll just play them the way they're meant to be played," which is, that's how we were trying to do it. That's why it was, like, such a fight, because it was like part of the band really wanted the songs to be, like, standard, where it's like, everybody now plays with fucking click tracks and, like, in-ear monitors and shit. It's like, I'm the opposite of that. I do not I want the human element to be absolutely there in the bones, the skin and bones of the thing is what I wanna hear. I wanna hear people playing and making this big monster together, with all the arms and legs and, the guitars, the bass, the drums, they're all walking, but they're independent, and they're all doing something that contributes to this kinda total, sum of is greater than the parts. And, there's give and take, and there's listening with that, and I really didn't have that much vocabulary with that kind of, like, more, ragged or just, like, letting it, embracing that side of it, embracing the I don't know, like, the way that Phil Lesh plays bass is not really trying to establish some kind of solid R&B groove like every other bass player in rock and roll, and they kinda let the tempos sway around, or, they just throw the song out there and they kind of roll it around and build it together in front of you, and, like, that's there's not really that many bands that have that approach. If you see fucking Springsteen or whatever on tour, it's like he's got triggers to make the drums sound like the record, and they know what tempo they're supposed to play it at, and it's like it's not really gonna have it's gonna sound like the record, basically, is what you're paying, right? And I've always the recording studio has always been kinda my enemy. I've never focused on recording at all. Like, it's I'm kind of allergic to it in a weird way. I shouldn't be. I should embrace it, and it's one of my regrets maybe over the last 20 years, not just, like, spending time in the fucking recording studio and actually, like, getting artistic. I just feel like that's a whole different, uh, craft, It's like you make artistic recordings. They don't necessarily have to sound what you sound like live at all. Like, live, I think it's more important now than ever to play live and to be live and to be in these, situations, clubs, collaborating with people, listening, responding, building, helping each other grow, helping each other learn, helping each other expand, forming a kind of family or mutual aid or community, you know? The Grateful Dead is that's part of it, right? Not to copy what they're doing completely, we would do it in our own way, and there's the Rolling Stones are pretty ragged around the edges, and they're pretty live when they're live, but they're not really taking, like I mean, they take their solos seriously and shit like that, but I don't know. They don't really reinterpret their songs. Like the Grateful Dead or Bob Dylan, it's like that's part of the excitement, or jazz, for instance, that was my experience, right? It's just like being exposed to jazz, being exposed to that vocabulary. It's like, "Oh, okay, well, that's actually normal." Charlie Parker's taking a standard and throwing it in the air and chopping it up and stretching it out and expanding on it and doing a cut up and using it to tell his own story, using it to sort of piggyback and using it to write over. He's writing on top of it. He's using it's using its rhythms to sort of, like, make what he's saying maybe, have some kind of, like, time tested, or, it's in conversation, it's in Congress with the other work, and with this more, I don't know, kind of, like, sturdy thing, or I don't know, established thing or something. Not that that's important, but it's like, I don't know, what part of writing technique, right, is a lot of times I wanna sit in a public place and overhear 2 or 3 things at once and kinda combine them and jumble them all together, but part of it is I'm using the speech rhythms of what people are saying because usually when people talk, it's convincing. It has a music, it has an authenticity and a conviction, and, like, a lot of times those rhythms in writing or in meter or in songs or whatever, I think the best songs are born out of just something that somebody said. Somebody in the studio goes, "Oh, it's been a hard day's night." "Oh, it's been a hard day's night. It's been a hard," and then it kinda just develops into that. You've got this little thing in your head that just kinda, yeah, it's almost like you're just exaggerating, like an impression, like an impersonation or something. And so, exploring that stuff on stage, that's what I wanna do. That's what I've always wanted to do as a musician. It's just like in New York, for a rock band especially, it's just like that they're not welcoming to that approach, really. It's like you're supposed to have this tight 40-minute set and just knock people dead, and it's, like, supposed to be some kind of record company showcase, or it's for your fucking followers or wherever. It's like, to me, it's like I wanna do long sets, I wanna stretch, I wanna be like, at Unnameable, like they do every week at, Greetings. You know how they jam kinda before Greetings? They play for half an hour, and they just kinda air it out. They just kind of make noise like birds. Whatever material is inside you, it's like you transmute it, you pull out all the clutter, and you puff it out in music in these little notes. You blow, you you bend your guitar string, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I do come from, like, a rock and roll, blues background type thing, and so it's like that's the lexicon of what I'm able to play, and I thought it was a good mix on Saturday. It's like I was able to do some improv, talking blues, funny, spieling, Take No Prisoners style Lou Reed stand-up comedy, music, riffing, and, it's just another kinda solo. I can't really play I'm not a harmonica rack guy. I've never been able to get that to work, even though I do like playing harmonica, and I do feel like a great harmonica player. You just can't do the harmonica rack. But playing harmonica is probably the closest thing I can do to playing, like, a saxophone or, like, any kind of jazz. I can't actually play it, but, like, I can play it emotionally, and that's what really matters with music, now more than ever. It's like you should play emotionally. Your music is emotionally, driven, and, that's what makes music good. It's an externalization of some kind of inner contour, some kind of inner rhythm and thing you're going through, emotion, feeling, sadness, whatever it is, hate. You're trying to transmit that in company and fraternity with your fellow human being. It's how we resonate with each other, I guess. Those vibrations just sort of lock everybody into place. And so, okay, so I thought as I watched the set, I was like, you know what? This song at the end is pretty good. And it's scary. It's scary to do that in front of people. I thought I was gonna go up there and not be nervous at all. It's like, "Oh, I'm in front of, 40 people every week. I won't be nervous." But I didn't really rehearse like I should have. I was trying to be a big shot like Elton John. I read something Elton John says he never plays piano except when he's on tour or when one of his kids wants him to play. He doesn't, like, sit around and practice. I was like, "Oh, I don't need to fucking practice." I'd be like Elton John, just practice on stage, rehearse on stage. Well, to me, it's one of my favorite stories. I think there's some I'm sure I may be wrong about this, but There's some story about Charlie Parker. I think he saw one of his musicians, I don't know if it was Miles Davis, maybe it was Miles Davis, and they were rehearsing, like, in the bathroom or something before the show, or, like, they were rehearsing backstage. Charlie Parker goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And Miles Davis goes, "I'm rehearsing." And Charlie Parker goes, "Motherfucker, do that on stage. Rehearse on stage, don't waste it all, don't spend it all on the fucking." I mean, I don't know, there's something to be said for technique. It's not like I don't have technique, but I think there's a point when you play too much, and that's a whole other path. Like, if you wanna be a studio guy or a backing guy, or I there's definitely ways to express yourself primally through that too. Somebody like Brandon Lopez or, there's a lot of New York musicians that are kind of in that extended technique place where they're very good players and they put a lot of raw emotion into it. They're incredible players. Me, it's like I'm a very rudimentary guitar player. I'm more of a rhythm player, and that's another thing that I was always self-conscious about. In Holy Smokes, neither Eric nor I really, we were at the time, we were embarrassed about playing leads. It was like, "I don't wanna play a solo." He didn't wanna play a solo, I didn't wanna play a solo. We both wanted to play rhythm guitar. Everybody wants to play rhythm guitar in a band. Nobody wants to play bass, nobody wants to play lead. Everybody wants to play rhythm guitar and sing, and so that's what I wanted to do. But now I like playing solos. Now I've sort of figured out a way into it. You just have to embrace what you can play, and one of the best things about Holy Smokes is when we would get into these dueling guitar kind of, like, weaves, like they talk about that with the Rolling Stones, right? That's, like, one of the things that makes the Stones work is they have these guitar weaves, like the rhythm and the lead kinda switch in and out. Keith will play rhythm, then he'll play a lead line or whatever it is, and Mick Taylor or whatever, they have these weaves. And so with Holy Smokes, we really had nice guitar interplay. And it's like, there's a lot of, you know, ways that you can collaborate and find partnership musically with people, definitely. But you definitely have certain chemistry with certain people and certain instruments mixed. It's rare, I think, to find 2 rhythm guitar players that, like, neither one of us, like, could really play, you know, virtuoso lead guitar or anything like Steve Vai or Yngwie Malmsteen. We weren't interested in that, but we could both do beautiful things kind of from coming from different places on the guitar. Me, I'm more of like a country western rhythm, '60s, whatever, garage, Tommy James and the Shondells, rockabilly guy. Whereas Eric was more like a Radiohead, George Harrison, vibe, shoegaze. He had pedals, he had reverb, he had all that kind of magic stuff, magic voices in the guitar. He played a Telecaster. Me, I was more my tone was more bitey. I had no pedals. My tone was more like a stingy tone, crunchy kind of rhythm, chords, big chords at the end of the neck. And so we should have embraced that kind of thing and learned how to like television or something, they do that shit on it was it's so nonverbal when you're able to build those kind of big architectures of sound just through your guitars. They go on for 8 minutes or 9 minutes or whatever, like that song "You, Me, Who." We had a lot of jams. I encourage people to listen to my Songs from the Life compilation and my music compilations on YouTube because they've got a lot of the Holy Smoke stuff and very atmospheric and very shoegazy and epic, and, it kind of is looser. We could never really figure out how to get into a recording studio. You just need a home studio, and you just need to hunker down on the tracks and just keep adding tracks like a painting. It's just like throwing paint on a painting. Whereas, like, playing live is completely different. It's like this thing it's like doing a play. You rehearse and then you go do it, and, it's not gonna be perfect every night. Some nights it's gonna be 90%, and that's still pretty good. And some nights it's gonna be 80%, and that's not bad, and some nights it's gonna be 60%. It's just like that's how it is. And some nights it's gonna be 100%, or 110%. Those are the nights we live for, and that's how it was, in all the bands I've played in. It's like some nights you just fucking are on more than others, but, it's a euphoric high to do it, when you play that way. I guess drugs have probably something to do with it, but it's a group trance, I think. You're improvising and you're all collaborating and agreeing on things that kind of lock together and make sense together and create a form together that everybody agrees kind of has this godlike, humbling to its awesome power. I mean, when you're really locked in, when things really fall together musically, it is just like this almighty experience. Not that what you're creating necessarily is some great thing, and it feels that way. That's why everybody does it. Even the Republican fucking lawyers and all the old guitar collecting Republicans, they all wanna play blues guitar because the vibrations feel good, and, you add drugs and alcohol to it, feel real good. Um, Sex and drugs and rock and roll. There's a reason why. They make a good combination. Some people, I guess. I don't who knows? Who knows? Who really knows? So yeah, now, the gig on Saturday, I thought it had a nice but I was going up there, I was like, "I'm not gonna plan anything. I'm not gonna plan what I play. I'm just gonna let it happen." And then you get on stage and you're, like, trying to think of what to play next, and you're like, "Oh, I don't wanna play that." And you're, like, in front of people and you're like, "Oh, I'm embarrassed. What do I do?" Looking at people are thinking of, you know, bombing here. And I like that venue. I mean, certain people I know kinda give it a lot of flack, but I played Caffeine Underground probably 4 times or something over the years. Wavetable played there, done poetry there. That great, Halloween open mic is there every Sunday, hosted by Noah. Shout out to Noah, um, a great open mic host musician. Um, but it's like it's not a bar, there's no alcohol, and it's very bright. The walls are white, so it's like the feng shui of it's very weird. It's far from the train, it's, like, between the 2 trains, so it's like you gotta walk forever, and so I took this Fender Stratocaster thinking it played nicely, but the electronics were kinda screwed up. I thought they were. I should have checked it before the gig. This is one of the things that I've learned as a musician over the years. One of the most important lessons, one of the hardest things for me is you have to have your equipment. If your equipment fucks up during the gig, you're dead. One time I played this gig with Willie Phoenix, and I had this SD bass that I didn't really practice. I borrowed it, and it started shorting out during the gig in front of all these it was at this corporate gig in a hotel. We were on this big stage with all these lights and shit, and my bass just started going it's like, "Oh, no." It totally killed the gig. And and Saturday, the guitar was kinda cutting in and out. I mean, it didn't derail the whole thing, but you just need that you need that stuff. As much as I like to embrace the kinda catch as catch can and just, like, whatever the circumstances are, I thought I was gonna be like Chuck Berry rolling up to the gig. I like to be like Chuck Berry. It's like I show up with my guitar in a case, and that's it. It's like the amp is there, I just plug in, but at first the guitar wasn't working, and then Ashley came up and she jiggled the cord and it started working. So, luckily for most of the gig, it didn't really short out anything. The tone was okay. But, if you don't have the right tone, or I don't know, you just gotta make the tone work somehow, whatever it is. You gotta be responsive to whatever the guitar is doing too. You can't just expect to play it however you want. You have to be like Jeff Beck, the guitar is a woman. You have to listen to the guitar. You have to play the guitar like a woman. I think that's why guys are so, obsessed with guitars, like a woman's body, the things you do to it, the way you touch it. It's also like a big penis that you're jacking off to, depending on depending on how good you are. Like jacking. So, I don't know, since the pandemic, I have played sort of a string of these one-man guitar gigs. If you watch I played at, Castelli Cafe, that gig at, I played by myself at Bowery Electric. You can believe that. I played alone with my Rickenbacker at Bowery Electric. It's on YouTube. Check out my channel. There's a few of these. And then I played Pete's Candy Store, on Valentine's Day 2022. I literally played on Valentine's Day, Pete's Candy Store 22, guitar by myself, and, it was sorta like a cabaret, poetry, State of the Union live stream, freestyle riff sesh. I encourage people to check out those gigs. So there is a lineage to this, and I like these, like, Robert Hunter solo shows. I encourage people to check those out on YouTube. Robert Hunter, the songwriter for Grateful Dead. There's all these, like, solo sets that he did. And it's more like poetry music, it's meant to be kinda ramshackle and kind of, like, rhapsodic and kind of flowing, like Bobby Burns or something, just onward, onward, onward flowing, the tongue lapping, inspired, and speaking to whatever's going on, inventing new things from what's around us, the characters that are around us, the circumstance, that's a form of presence rather than living in these old songs that are 10 years old in that moment. The thing is with Holy Smokes, those initial moments of rehearsal and they were such powerful moments of discovery, and they were also coupled with, like, the beginning of me smoking tons of weed. So it was also, like, this awesome, like, "Whoa, these songs are amazing. We were fucking high, dude." And so there was a lot of amazing and we have recordings of all of it, so we've listened to recordings a lot, and so it's been hard to kinda move past those songs. And with Trump era, there wasn't really time and space to write new songs, but it's like I don't know, I need like a not a collaborator, but like I need like, uh, well, maybe a collaborator. You need like a context to like a point. You need like a reason to write songs. Not that I need to write songs. I wanna embrace this like improvisational writing on stage through the guitar and singing and spieling and all of that, just like sitting down and writing a poem, except using the guitar as a like one of my favorite albums, Richard Thompson, um, what is the album called? Small Town Romance. I had this album, my girlfriend in high school was really into Richard Thompson. I saw Richard Thompson probably 3 or 4 times in high school and college. I was, like, really into Richard Thompson because he was just a troubadour, honestly, like, the purest sense of the fucking word. Like, the dude is just full of songs. He's got that thing he does 1,000 years of popular music, like, he literally knows, like, medieval fucking English fucking, like, you know, chord stomps and all this shit, whatever that music was, like, he knows it. Winter is a coming in and all that shit. So he's the keeper of this kind of unbelievable library of music, but he's also one of the best guitar players in the world who's ever fucking lived. Like, he's this unbelievable solo guitar player who does all this crazy finger picking stuff and crazy tunings. I mean, now guitar is, like, all stunt fucking drumming on the guitar and retuning and finger tapping and shit on an acoustic. It's all like this percussive, vibey acoustic shit, but Richard Thompson, it's like it's folk, it's poetry, really, and so I saw him at a number of different places. I saw him in a tent, the Dublin Irish Festival, I saw Richard Thompson in a tent. So he's got this album that I would always listen to, I saw him at Mershon Auditorium, or what was that, Veteran whatever that one downtown was, the Rife Center, I think it's at the Rife Center. I was like a Richard Thompson head. 1952 Vincent Black Lightning was like it's still like one of the greatest songs ever written. Richard Thompson doesn't get nearly enough fucking attention. It's kinda nuts. I don't know what he's up to these days, but he was just, like, kind of on a never-ending tour because he can just go by himself anywhere, or he can take his band, it's like a three-piece or something, and just jam his ass off on a Stratocaster. I mean, the dude just is an unbelievable guitar player for people that don't know, but he still plays songs, he's not just, like, some technique beast and the music just sucks. It's like it's still just, like, this kind of, like, traditional but it's new. It's like he knows rock music and he's like, he's sort of like Knopfler or something almost. Um, Fairport Convention. Um, but this album, Small Town Romance, it's just him and his acoustic. And a lot of these songs, I don't even know where they fucking came from. If he wrote them or what. But it's like I don't even. It's not got that many streams on Spotify. Love is Bad for Business, Woman or a Man, and it was recorded at the Bottom Line, I think, in New York. So it was like it always felt like it was recorded in, like, some small coffee house or something. The claps are like he's just at a fucking open mic or something. So it's kind of, well, not an open mic, it's more like a coffee house. The people actually like it, they're actually listening. But it's, like, not that many people. It sounds like a small room with, like, a fucking, storefront or something. And so it's just kind of this pure I think my idea with solo acoustic was, like, I don't know, you have to, like, play chords and play rhythm and deliver this kind of, like, band, like, I don't know. Whereas now it's like, I don't know, I like embracing, because when you play electric guitar especially, it's like there's this kind of, like, strawnness, like, you can kinda poke through it, it's almost like a ball of steel or a ball of fucking barbed wire or something. It's like you kind of like this thatch, metallic, and I like that sound, actually. I think that is I like acoustic too, but there's something about electric solo. You typically see electric in a band, so seeing it solo is like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's that song Jonathan Richman, I guess, is the other huge influence, the way he does things as a performer. It's a lot like Richard Thompson, where he's just like this troubadour. Him and Tommy Larkins, like, drive around in a fucking truck and fucking he's got his fucking strapless, like, flamenco guitar, and Tommy Larkins has, like, a fucking snare drum. Like, that's their setup. That's their rig. There's no fucking guitar tech, there's no in-ear monitor. He probably doesn't use a fucking tuner. Before I played on Saturday, I borrowed this guy's tuner, which I knew was a mistake. The thing is when you're playing by yourself, you really don't need a tuner, unless you wanna be in tune, but it's like, you can kinda just tune to yourself, as long as you're in tune with yourself, like so I borrowed his tuner, it turns out the guitar was a whole step low, which was one reason why it played so nice. Kinda had that My Bloody Valentine with fat looseness. So I tuned it to standard, which maybe was a mistake, but I don't know. In any case, fuck the technology is the point. And, Jonathan Richman, right, he delivers these kind of like it's almost like speaking, he's got a message. His songs, like, tell you he rhymes, though, and he makes it, like, melodic, and But his song structures are very, like, 50s and kind of basic. A lot of times well, he doesn't do it anymore, but he's okay, so he's got the song Fender Stratocaster, right? People may know the song Fender Stratocaster, like a tin can on a dead end street. And so he describes his kind of love for the Fender Stratocaster, the sound of it. It's a poem. It's totally a poem. It's like a list poem about Fender Stratocaster, like a motorcycle at a hot dog stand, Fender Stratocaster. He names all these things that sound like a Fender Stratocaster and rock and roll. And I'm like, I don't know. I've been thinking about that sound. I think that's one of the lyrics. I've been thinking about that sound. And I've been thinking about that sound, and I want that sound. That's the sound that I'm going for. It's kind of like like he says, like a crushed soda can. You know how you do that? You drink your Diet Coke, you put the can on the ground, and it's so satisfying to crush it with your foot. You know, like the sound of that scraping along like an alley. That's like the sound that I want out of my electric guitar. I want this kind of like brittle clank, 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 clank. To me, that's the sound of tin roof busted. That's the Great Depression. That's "Brother, Can I Spare a Dime?" That's a nickel going into a rusty blind man's cup at the gates of dawn, and, clank, 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 clank. I guess that's the 20th century sound. That's the sound of rails. It's the sound of hot neon in the city, grills, diners, coney dogs, chibuga chibuga. I don't know, it just accompanies the talking. I like that, the kind of finality. Acoustic, it's like when you play an acoustic guitar, you feel like there's this obligation to be like a hippie. Or I don't or like be Will Oldham or something. It's like you okay, I'm gonna bring this tree and this piece of natural wood and like it sounds it's like a not that I don't wanna sound like that. I love acoustic guitar, but like in the city, in a club in the city, like I think John Lee Hooker has a song called Canal Street Blues, and that's the picture. I think as a musician, as any entertainer, you're also, like, bringing a picture on stage. Like Bob Dylan, when he went up on stage, it's like there's this whole character, there's this whole world that he's bringing on stage of just, like, the troubadour, his little hat, his harmonica rack, his kind of, like, little tramp shuffle that he does. John Lee Hooker, it's like this whole fucking character, you know? And so in the city, it's like you need that in dead end of the night, dark alley, Memphis, Beale Street, kinda rack 'em up, pool, the cue break. You need the sound of that's what a bar sounds like, it sounds like change, it sounds like beer cans, it sounds like beer bottles clanking, it sounds like the jukebox, it sounds like pool, big game hunter, whatever the fuck that thing is. It sounds like sex and intrigue and smoke and whiskey. It's all gotta be in there. And so, I don't know, I'm kind of I mean, we're gonna s work System Lord will play as soon, hopefully this month, next month, we gotta get System Lord back in action. But, as it's just something growing up, it's something my dad always talked about. He was in this band in the '80s called the Alligators, which was very successful and great, but there was, like, 8 people because they had a horn section, so he's always talking about, "Well, you have to split the money 8 ways, so you make way less money." Whereas, like, if you have a power trio, you only split the money 3 ways. And so, this is one reason why stand-up comedians kinda have the best job in show business because, like, they literally don't have to bring anything. They don't even have to bring a fucking guitar, it's like literally show up to the fucking venue. They don't have to bring a book. Like a poet's gotta bring some fucking paper or something, notebook. If a comedian's got their act memorized, like, they just fucking show up, grab the microphone, boom, go. Just start talking about bullshit. As a musician, it's like New York, that's one of the shittiest things is, like, lugging a guitar around. I hate to be that guy at the open mic who's like, "Can I borrow a guitar?" But I'm always that I hate being that guy. "Hey, can I borrow your guitar? Do you mind?" Don't be that guy. But it's like New York, it's like, God, am I gonna carry this fucking 40-pound Rickenbacker around everywhere I go? Like, I don't think so. On the subway. I feel bad for these bass players, man. It's like, Jesus Christ, how naive. How naive. What do they think they're getting into with those giant instruments? Like, poor one thing I do think that this my leg hurting is really starting to affect me. Like, I really do need to get it fixed because I wasn't, like, cranky at the open mic last night, but I think I'm giving off more of a vibe that's like, this is a job, and not that I wanna get it over with, but, like, I don't wanna be there forever till the end of the night. Like, well, it's hard because the last 2 weeks, we were there super late. I mean, we were there till 2 a.m. last week, and I have no idea why, 'cause, we're definitely getting more signups right now, but, like, not that many more. We've gotten about 40, maybe a little over 40 the last few weeks, 45. It would've been 50, but I cut it off. I've been cutting it off around 40 because I'm just like, "We can't sign any up more people up because we'll be here all fucking night." And the bar wants us out by 1 a.m. unless we're making a shitload of money. If we were making over $1,500, they probably don't care. And we've been making good money, so they haven't cared, but it's also like, I you know, the culture of it used to be like, "Yeah, I love doing a long show. I will stay as long as it takes." But, the bar just gave me so much, not the bar, but just in general, it's just like I got so much pushback about it that, like, we don't wanna stay all night, and well, the big thing was the people that come in late weren't spending money. So it's like I would put on a lot of comedians late, they wouldn't buy anything or they'd buy one thing, they'd buy a fucking ginger ale, and so it is a 2-drink minimum, and it is kind of about, like, spending money, and so it's like we can't really justify staying, or I would do it, but like I said, like, we're paying for the room in a way, and and the bartender's not making any money either, so, we don't wanna keep them, and it's nice that they even do it because we're in business, and so it's a great thing to be able to do, and we really appreciate doing it, and so, I would stay all fucking night. I'd go till 5 a.m. if they'd let me, but it's like, we try to aim for a 1 a.m. cutoff. That's the goal, is to land the thing by 1 a.m., which is not always easy because, you don't know exactly how many people are gonna show up, you don't know if people are gonna come in, this or that. It's not an exact thing, and, it's flexible to some degree. We usually end by 1:15. It's usually over at 1:15. And it sucks because a lot of times I have to squash my own thing at the end. Usually I'll go up and do something at the very end, and, last week it's 2 a.m. I didn't wanna go up and drag it on. It's like we all wanna go home. Well, the other thing was when I was riding the train home late last spring, and those guys sorta, it wasn't a big deal, but when those guys sort of jumped me, it wasn't a big deal, like, thank God, and nothing has happened since then, but that was the thing where I was like, "You know what? I don't wanna be riding the train home super late," so that's when I sort of, like, to be honest, I really haven't gone out late at all since then because it's just like I haven't been on wanted to be on the train late, you know? I mostly come back here around 11 o'clock, 10 or 11 o'clock, because anything after midnight, I'm just like, I don't really wanna do that, and so, that with the open mic, that's the same, I don't wanna be there till 2 AM or later, and get home at 4 AM or whatever. It's not as easy for me to do that, particularly because my leg hurts, so it's like last night the week before, we had a bunch of people go long, and so I wanted to get ahead of that and just be like, "You know what? We gotta keep this moving. We have a lot of people signed up." To be honest, it's just inconsiderate to the other performer. Don't be Adrian Brody, okay? Don't be Adrian Brody and be like, "I've done this before, okay? Let me do another song. It's okay. I got this." It's like, don't be Adrian Brody. Um, you don't have to stick to 5 minutes, but, like, if you're gonna go over, do 6 minutes, maybe 7. Do not do 8, 9, 10 minutes. Like, that's way too much. Like, you can do 6, but, like, please don't try to do more than 6. If you play like, if you're gonna do 2 songs, do not do a bunch of fucking banter. Like, do your fucking songs and just do them. And so, I don't mean to be irritable about that, and it's something I've never really I don't try to hustle anybody because I don't wanna affect the vibe. I want everybody to just feel free, and the idea is to condition it socially so that everybody early does 5 minutes, so people after them go, "Okay, this is how long people are doing, that's how long I'll do." I don't wanna go longer than everybody else and be that guy and be an asshole, and it's just that's the worst part of the job, is fighting people off that stage. Trying to get people off stage and people coming up to me asking me when their turn is. Those are the 2 things that just, like, really drive me nuts. And so that I the first 2 hours of the show for me are usually, like, not the most fun because I'm literally just trying to get people up and get through it. I don't wanna take up too much time, I just wanna keep it moving, and so I can be a little terse, a little short, a little brusque, and that's kinda how it was. The audience kinda turned on me in a weird way because I was trying to be emphatic about being fast. They really didn't like that. And it's like, "I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it so you get up faster." It's like, you want this guy to be up here for 8 minutes, but it's like, now everybody's gonna be up here for fucking 8 minutes, and, the idea is I've got 40 people signed up, I got 45 people signed up, like, we're trying to get out of here by 1 AM, so we didn't start till 9, we had to start real late. So, I do think apparently people weren't drinking, which is fine, but, you know, the vibe is definitely different when people are drinking, and, the vibe's different every week, and last night it just felt like, the audience was giving me nothing, and that's part of the experience, that's part of learning, but, I don't know, a lot of times my jokes just this girl played a cover song last night, and I think it was Foster the People or Gotia. I think it was Gotia. Was it somebody that I used to know? I think is what it was. I don't remember. But I went up and I said, "Was that Foster the People?" I said it like as a joke. Nobody recognized it was a joke. It was just dead silence. It was crickets. They built a wall of silence in that room instantly, and, I paid and, anyway, I just felt like it felt like that the whole first 2.5 hours. Which is a hard job, You're kind of the teacher up there, so you're kind of the bad guy. Sometimes you gotta be bad cop, and, we did move through it pretty well, but people were kinda pissy about it in a way I didn't expect. I thought people would just kinda fall and be like, "Yes, sure, absolutely." But some people were kinda snarky about it, and I don't know. Some other people cut their set short in a way that I was like, "Oh, damn it." Not to, like, fucking shove it. pace. I'm just trying to well, I don't it's constantly shifting every week, it's kind of a different show, and that's part of the beauty of it, you know? I like doing it the old-fashioned way and just having it all be up here, you know? I don't wanna have machines involved or have it be some kind of a regimented thing, I want it to be a personable thing, a face-to-face business, and, and try to be fair to everybody as much as I can, or at least the people that deserve it. If you're a bad comedian, you know, that's a different uh, alright, I'm done. Maybe I'll do 3 hours. Got 1 person watching, it's probably Ashley. Anyway, I hope people watch this later. There's some funny shit in here. And some profound, insightful, poetic, shit. I'm gonna try the whole thing. I guess that's my approach to everything, comedy. Overthrow all of it. I mean, comedy, these guys really need to be I don't think it's possible. I mean, their audience is not my audience. They're just dumb. They're dumb right-wing meatheads. Like, well, that's a whole other thing. The masculinity aspect is important, but I just wanna finish talking about the gig on Saturday because it was fun, and this is why I need to be out playing more gigs because it's like they're all learning experiences. You grow as a performer every time you get to do something like that. And, you know, I get to do every Monday and be in front of people with regularity, so that's kind of my steady thing that I fall back on, but it would be nice to get out more. But, we had to leave early. I didn't really get to stick around. I would have liked to have stick around and watched the act 'cause it really was a cool bill. I think it's cool the way that Kristen Guayo is putting this stuff together. People from open mics, a lot of different kinds of music. God, this Biden. Yikes. Yeah, it's too sad. We could have Biden right now. Biden definitely wouldn't be talking about invading Canada or crypto reserve. He also wouldn't have fired all of the people that keep us safe. Fired all the people that keep us safe in every major industry. We gotta weed out the weak, I guess. Survival of the fittest. That's the new law of the land. Survival of the richest. Survival of the dumbest. Reverse evolution. Quickly undoing. It's a revolution. It's a revolution. It's a reverse evolution. It's a revervolution. It's a reverse solution. We love the reverse solution. Um, yeah, so yeah, it was just a good mix. I touched on a lot of different stuff. It's never as bad as you think, but it didn't necessarily go as well in my head. I was nervous, you know, I was afraid to look at the crowd. I mean, that room is bright and I didn't you know, it's like these decisions, you never know. It's like, should I stand? Should I sit? You can kinda get in your head about this stuff, but I wanted to go up with no plan. I'd like to maybe have a little bit like, because the thing is, like, a lot of I got a lot of my lyrics mixed up because it's like I think of the 2nd verse first, and then, you know, they're built that way on purpose. If you do them backwards, they don't have as much impact. So, it wouldn't hurt to run through the songs occasionally at home, or maybe on a live stream perhaps. Maybe I'll do a live concert on the stream. I know people are dying for more of my music. I was, Tim Heidecker's music came on today, and, I was just thinking about the pandemic. I was in Ohio, and one of the things that I did during the pandemic was watch fucking On Cinema at the cinema. They just had the Oscar special, which we couldn't watch because it's behind the paywall, but I'm sure it was hilarious and amazing. And, well, he has his music, right? And I can't I don't really there's something about his music that I find kind of like not like cringe, but like kind of off-putting. Maybe cringe is the word, but it just seems like kind of cheesy when he does it. But it's also like I don't know. Tim Heidecker's a pretty sharp guy, and he does call out a lot of these things in our culture for how stupid they are, way ahead of the curve. And I think the fact that he's focused on trying to be like this songwriter, like Randy Newman or Harry Nilsson or Warren Zevon or the fucking Beatles, whatever. Like you can tell Heidecker like really is trying to write these songs. And granted, that's what I mean. Those weren't exactly my inspirations, really, but I guess that's all my friends and I tried to do. Really, was write that type of thing. I just think I don't know. There's something about the way that he honed in on that as like being of importance. Like when he goes on tour, he does comedy and music. He's got his band, so he plays his fucking music, and then he does comedy. And it's like, uh, but his music is pretty sincere, really. His albums, "Go to Bed Again." When I get up, I want to go to bed again. That was like the theme of the pandemic for me. When I wake up, just want to go to bed again. That was the corner hit. And I don't know. There's just something about the simplicity of that music. I think he's just honing in on that. It's like Brian Wilson is another big influence, obviously, I think. But as something, I don't know. It's like a cohesive cultural product that kind of brought people together, like centered people. There's something to be said for that. And so I don't know. I want to incorporate everything I've learned about music because I have spent most of the last decade like playing fucking music from Holy Smokes through open mics, wavetable, fucking ipso facto, extremely rarely appreciated, extremely undervalued ipso facto, um, on through System Lord and Shepherd's Pie and the solo gigs that I've played. I played a solo gig at Fifth Estate in April 2016, I think. That was maybe one of the first because I think Holy Smoke was supposed to do it, and there was like they didn't want to do it, and there was scheduling conflicts and this and that. So I just did it myself. That was when it was still Fifth Estate. It was still like a kind of a grungy dive bar with zebra wallpaper. And their sound system sucked. But it's the same layout. I mean, Young Ethels just put this ugly fucking purple kind of like I don't know what is that, palm fronds or something all over everything. And I love Young Ethels. They have great infrastructure. It's clean. It's nice. It's modern. They have the whole improv scene there. I love Young Ethels. It's one of the best venues in town as far as I'm concerned. For doing actually just like local culture, they're really good to work with. Your projector, they kind of just are hands off. And so I have a history there. I've been playing there for almost 10 years before it was Young Ethels. I played there with System Lord a bunch of times. It's a shame that in 24 I didn't really do any shows, or I didn't book any shows. In 24, I was just so frustrated with venue owners in New York. They just like they're so square, and we got banned from a lot of places. With System Lord, it's like we got banned from a couple different places, that I just was like, "Fuck this." So, hassle with this anymore. I'll just do the open mic, other things, you can jump on or whatever, but putting on shows is like it's fun, it's what it is. The venues, I don't they should do everything they can, I feel like, to go out of their way to support the artist. They shouldn't get mad at you if you bring nobody in. They're still for supporting the artists, and we need their support. We need to go to do a fucking show to venue for no reason. So yeah, Young Ethel's next Tuesday. You'll get a Bathtub Nebula, a Shepherd's Pie, a Kuzu Daddy, Logan X can come out and play. Stoked about that. So it's just kind of a short little showcase. I'm gonna do a solo guitar. That's my new thing. I'm setting up a gig at Pete's. I haven't played Pete's in 3 years, other than open mics that I've done there. So this is my return to Pete's, my comeback, my resurgence. They said it couldn't be done. My return to the White House. Trump can pardon people, but can he uncancel people? Uncanceling the canceled. They're all in the cabinet. Anybody who's canceled, they all got some kind of position in the administration. They're running the FBI. But Matt Gaetz was too toxic. Marco Rubio gets confirmed. I mean, granted, Matt Gaetz is a fucking scumbag. Jesus Christ. They're all scumbags. Yeah, so playing with Cloud Nebula has been encouraging and fun and exciting. And it's fun to play with a piano player and sort of go back and forth. And the lyric thing, I think, is just starting to take off as well. Kind of back and forth with that and building. And, I just thank Buddy Holly, really, and Richie Valens and the Big Bopper and Chris Aguilera because thank you, Chris Aguilera, for asking me to play the gig. Otherwise, I play guitar occasionally at open mic. I'd say I do it maybe once a month or something. During country music summer, I played a few times. So it's not like I'm never playing guitar. It's like I try to do it enough to just sort of keep my chops up. And a lot of times when I go to open mics, like I go to fucking the church on 86th Street, West Park, or Soho Playhouse. A lot of times that's what I'll do for my act because they have a house guitar or something, and I don't want to read poetry. It's like, what am I going to do? Go up and do stand-up comedy at fucking West Park? Like, I don't think so. So it's a good open mic. It's a good venue. It's a good place to, and it's musically driven. Everybody there is like playing Tom Petty covers, singing harmonies. They sound great. There's a guy who plays fucking flute. So it's just like, okay, it makes sense to kind of play music there. And I don't know. I mean, I guess in a delusional sort of like not pragmatic way at all, I thought I would have like a music career. I guess my naive idea was like we would play live shows and somebody would like discover it. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. I wasn't really thinking about it in any kind of like I just wanted to play as many shows as possible. to be honest. It's like, I don't know why I'm driven in that way and why I simplify it to that. To me, that's like what being a musician is. Like, my dad, he would play 2 or 3 times a week usually, 4 sets a night, 3 sets a night, 4 hours. It's like, that's what you do if you're a musician. It's like, uh and I think just as a actor or a performer, it sort of grows out of maybe my experience doing films and stuff. The experiences I had doing films and doing recording studios were very similar, where it's like I just didn't really like it, and I never really committed that much time to it to like actually make. After 2008 or something, I basically just stopped doing that stuff, or at least I changed the way I did it, right? And it became more about playing live. It's like they asked Ray Fiennes what he's going to do on the red carpet, after the Oscars. Like, I'm going to go back to the theater. It's my passion. It's like, yeah, because as an actor, being in a film kind of sucks. Where it's just like, oh, I get 6 seconds to do my line or whatever. I'm doing like a reaction shot. It's like you're in it for like a minute or something. It's like you're on stage, you're in it for 2 hours. You're making the thing with your, and so it's a flow state thing. It's a discipline thing. It's a learning thing. I guess in some naive way, I thought, well, this is where I'll get my education. It's like I'm not really an academic, or I didn't really go. I thought I can do that later. It's like I'm in New York. I'm in show business. It's like I'm gonna get on stage and the audience will teach me. The free market will teach me. That's how I'll get good. It's just like I'll be on stage all the fucking time, or as much as I can be, and somehow I'll get better, through 10,000 hours of shit. And I think just getting caught up in the euphoria, particularly when you're smoking weed, sometimes you just get so high in performance that like you can't match it. And your life just becomes this kind of like dream where you're just like, I don't know, wanting that as much as possible. You want to live in flow state. You want to jam with other people, play music with other people, communicate that way, live in warmth, the color, and the blankets of music. Music is just, it's like a big pool of technicolor morphine just rolling around in it. God damn, this is great. And I'm with my friends, and we're all doing this together. And you really you see the painting of it. You see the painting in the music and all the color in the music, the color of the guitars, the color of the bass. The bass is purple like a plum. The guitars are like orange. The drums are like green or brown. And so you build the music out of those kind of ephemeral sensations, and it's real. It's active and it's truthful. It's this kind of ongoing psychedelic poem. To me, that's what my life is about. Just like this ongoing telling of the tale, trying to turn it into music, whether it's language, poetry is music, right? A poetry reading is a musical performance. So, I guess that's why I feel comfortable with the guitar as a solo performer now, or the electric guitar, 'cause it's like, it's almost like a poetry reading. It's like you have a gun, like having this electric gun, so you have something to kind of like fight back with. Whereas, just up there reading poetry, it's much more like uh, kind of unplugged or something. It's much more like acoustic. It's much more like a studio session, and I love it all. I love doing all of it. I love reading poetry. My problem with poetry readings is like it's hard to really go totally flowing, because with music you're kind of encouraged to move around, dance, body is so much a part if you're not moving your body, a lot of times the music isn't working, it's not happening. It's almost like your body has to play it, your body has to think it before you have to think through your fingers, think through your hands. And so it's mind, body, soul connection. It's immediately putting you in your body. Who was it? I was listening to some fucking thing where he was talking about Bill Murray on Rogan. We watched Bill Murray on Joe Rogan. Bill Murray didn't even know who Joe Rogan was. That's how low we've fallen. I mean, I don't blame him for going on, I guess, because I'm sure they just told him this thing has shitloads of, it's the biggest podcast, and you can promote your movies in your fucking golf clothes, but you're sort of, I don't know, you're sort of vindicating the tyrants in a way. Bill Murray, shame on you, Bill Murray. But he was talking about the mind-body connection, how, like, when he's on the golf course, because he really is a good athlete. I think he is good in the zone and shit. He's talking about, like, on the golf course, he just, like, will do something physical to stay in his body, because you need to stay in your body to be present, and especially with something like that, it's like you need to be in your body, it's not a mental, or it is mental, but it's like, and music, I feel like is kinda like that too. It's like you need to be in your body, your fingers, you like, when I was playing that guitar solo, so at the Buddy Holly tribute, the day the music died, February 3rd, I played a medley of Buddy Holly songs at the beginning, and, when you get on stage, that's the beauty of live rock and roll, is, like, it is messy, and you do fuck up, but there's also amazing things that happen that you don't even intend to do. Like, I played this guitar solo, there was plenty of flubs and clams in it, as they would say, but there was also some things that happened that were like, "Whoa, how did I even do?" And so, I think it was sort of my audition, and so thank you, Chrissy Way, for booking me on this gig, because now I'm like, "Okay, I'm in the mood to do this," and I feel like rolling, this is like a front that we can attack on. This is something that we can be active, and we can use this as a way to fight. Take that guitar and fight back. This machine kills fascists type thing, right? The telephone pole of the plinka, 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 those E shuffle, blues and E shuffle. Bum, 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 plinka, plinka, plinka. That's where I live. That's my musical home palace right there. And yeah, the mind body connection. And yeah, the day the music died. So you just never know who's watching you. And I try to keep all the plates spinning. Ideally, I'd have system art going. I'd have stand-up comedy going. I'd have electric guitar going. I'd have poetry going. It'd all be happening. We'd be making a movie. I'd be posting on TikTok, or I'd be probably dominating Instagram Reels. That's somehow fucking super fun. So I'll probably wrap up pretty soon, everybody. Thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm judging this fucking punk rock fashion contest tomorrow. Oh, fuck, it has been 3 hours. Yeah. Okay, so I'll wrap up. Maybe a donut or something. It's the first time I've left the house all day. Go get a midnight snack. I'm a night person now because I'm nocturnal. Because that's show business. It's the nightlife. It is a good life. It's not bad at all. And there's money. You know, there's money in it. And that's part of it. It's like figuring out if it's what you're good at. You know, is helping people have a good time. I mean, we're going to need that more than ever. People are going to need escape and release and fun, but in a responsible, politically engaged way. We have more fun there. We're cool. The greatest lie that ever told is that the white women are cooler than the they own all of the channels of communication, so they can force whatever message they want. Like I saw Elon is like forcing Curtis Yarvin down people's throats on Twitter. When this is all over, Twitter will be returned to its traditional status. We'll forget it was ever called X when Elon Musk is like hanging upside down from a fucking tree with a fucking bayonet up his ass. We'll nationalize Twitter. We'll have universal basic income. Everybody will be traveling, writing poetry, performing, playing music, tripping balls. Everybody will be healthy, happy. They'll be housed, friendly, convivial. We'll have time for our friends and family and neighbors. We'll do good work in the world. We'll build things that really matter, not a bunch of fucking stupid, polluting bullshit, crypto idiocy. You want to talk about a fucking Ponzi scheme? It's worse. It's like you want to make billions of dollars disappear, of taxpayer dollars disappear, just sink it into some kind of crypto bullshit. At least with military shit, it's like, well, we got a plane or something. What do you get with crypto? Get some ugly NFT or some shit. It's blockchain. It's blockchain technology. Everything's moving to blockchain. You'll never be able to the fucking blockchain, okay? You'll never move my fucking poetry the goddamn blockchain. The blockchain is fucking blocked in this house, okay? Okay, assholes. Try me with your fucking blockchain. I'll Gene Hackman your ass. I'll Popeye Doyle your ass. I'll Harry Call your ass. I'll Mississippi Burning your ass, okay? Hell of a damn grave. Maybe we'll swing by her grave too. Royal Tenenbaum, of course. The ultimate. I mean, I do think that movie is sort of about white male patriarchy. I think Royal Tenenbaum is sort of like this comedic version of all of like those kind of tendencies. He's sort of racist. He calls Henry Satchmo, or what does he call him? Coltrane. In the original script, it's Satchmo, but they changed it to Coltrane. And he's just kind of a dick to everybody. He's insensitive. He cheats on his wife. I think that was part of it. Maybe he'll go to 1 a.m. I've got two people watching. I got to get these numbers up. My numbers are way down. I don't know. I've got this. I guess I've had this kind of like passive aggressive relationship with YouTube for like the last couple of months. Feels like I don't know. I don't want to be. I don't want to be just like chasing these very low level performance analytics and investing shitloads of time in it. Uh, I forgot how far it was, or it is. Just talk. I mean, who doesn't like? Okay, here's something I wanted to talk about: is mansplaining. Okay, don't take mansplaining away from us. Okay, mansplaining is the foundation of a lot of relationships. The entire podcasting industry is just like a resource for men to exhaust their mansplaining, to just get it out. We men, we can't help ourselves. We need, and like, I don't know, like, do women now do this? Do women not? How is it different than just like explaining? Because a man is doing it. Like, do women explain things? Like, oh, that's just helpful what they do. It's just like, oh, thank you for teaching me. thought it was called teaching. No, it's mansplaining. I mean, I get it. You don't wanna be a bore. A lot of times women seem to want that. You know, a lot of the relationships I've had, it seemed like women, they liked me because they liked listening to me. I mean, I listened to them too. I loved listening to them. It was a two-way street, definitely. But that's like part of the value is the mansplaining. This guy's a really good mansplainer. That was a great mansplanation. Well, makes sense now. So please don't mansplain, shame us. Don't shame. Well, I mean, okay. I just think there should be a court or something. Mansplanation court. Is this mansplanation? There needs to be like rules. Like what makes something a mansplanation? When does it become unbearable? Because like that's what stand-up comedy is. Literally, that's all it is. It's like a bunch of toxic, like unqualified men like trying to explain everything. Society, social conduct, whatever the fuck, politics. You could easily just change the name of stand-up comedy to mansplaining. Oh, Chappelle, he's gonna mansplain everything to us. That's why we like him. Bill Burr, please mansplain this. This makes no sense to me. We need good mansplainers, okay? This is one reason why Trump got reelected, okay? Because young, in, influenceable, influenceable, impressionable young men are falling under, they're wayward and they're falling under the tutelage of inferior mansplainers. Like, look at Rogan. Rogan will believe any conspiracy theories. He believes everything Elon Musk says. He's sitting there and he's just like, wow, there's so much waste of funds. Like, how do they get away with it? It's like, dude, you are so fucking gullible. I haven't seen Tim Dillon. Like, seen him posting. Let's get his fucking perspective on things. Was he bending over backwards to justify it? I mean, we didn't even get into any of the NATO shit and all of that. I mean, I'm sure people have had enough. I'll probably talk about that. Well, I've got this reading Thursday. Come to the reading Thursday, everybody. It's somewhere in Bushwick. I forget what it's called. It should be a good time. I'm going to read for 15 minutes. Geo's book release, and Junie's on it, Galvin's on it. So it'll be a fun time. I don't know what the hell I'm going to read. I probably should have figured that out today, but I'm supposed to judge this punk rock fashion contest in the Bronx tomorrow. Sentence I didn't necessarily think I'd ever say, but I'm proud of it and glad. And I don't know exactly what that means. I guess I'm like Howie Mandel or something. Like, just on the X Factor. Just unload on them like Howard. So maybe I'll be the Simon Cowell of the punk rock fashion contest. You look like shit. You're way too funky. You look like a fucking, you got this hot topic. It's just a pale facsimile of Search and Destroy. Trash and vaudeville. Manic panic. All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to go to 1 a.m. for my viewers, two lonely souls out there. Thank you for watching. We love you. The chat is still off. So, yeah, we're doing our work. We are processing information. The stability of global order is being dismantled as we speak, and Trump I think he just wants to remake the whole thing in his image. I think the first 4 years were like a test run. Now he kind of knows how to fucking operate the thing. Now he's really going to push it. He's really going to see what this baby can do. Now now he's really probably grown into the role. control, so he's gonna be just a global asshole. He's gonna fuck everybody's life up everywhere. Europe, Ukraine, South America, Canada, England, everywhere, Taiwan, and, yeah, so and here, who knows how this shit is gonna go down here. There could just be fighting in the streets or random acts of violence. How is it gonna escalate? Is it gonna escalate fast? Is there gonna be nukes? You know, part of the reason, right, and I'm sure this has already been well done, but part of the reason why we had this world order with the United Nations and NATO and all this shit was to, like, prevent proliferation of nuclear weapons, right? We protect Ukraine or, you know, they don't need a nuke because they have protection from another place that does. The United States, one of the reasons why they control shit everywhere is we extort them into paying us to be their bodyguards. Except, I don't know, apparently we just pay for it. That's what everybody's pissed about. We just pay. Why are we sending our money over there? Why are we sending $250 billion to Zelensky? He just wants our fucking money. It's all our money. We need to cut. Doge. Government efficiency. It's all bullshit. It's such a lie. That stuff does, I don't know, all of this stuff. USAID, that stuff does a lot of good in the world for us. Good for America. Good for everybody. And I don't know. I guess he's playing jazz with the map, basically. He's going, oh, this. I don't know. Who the fuck knows what goes on in these conversations behind closed doors? You know, is he really Krasnov? Is it just some kind of KGB playbook that he's just puppet? He's parroting whatever the fuck. I do think that that is a huge part of it. Yes, yes, definitely. But I think there's probably some kind of deal where, like, he says, "Hey," it's like everybody's gonna be the boss of their part of the world. Putin, you get this part. You get Ukraine, and you can even push in. I think it's like they're rebuilding the Berlin Wall. They're gonna push in probably to Poland or whatever, maybe Germany, like that whole Eastern Bloc. They probably want that back. And Germany was, like, behind fucking Berlin Wall, right? East Germany. So who knows how far they could take it. That was, right, probably one of the reasons why they had fucking NATO. But the Berlin Wall has been down for a long time, and Russia fell, right? Supposedly. I suppose, and then China will be the boss of Taiwan and whatever the fuck their part of the world. More countries will do business with Russia and China. The BRICS countries. And so, yeah, I mean, Trump is, it is almost like a systematic deflation of this country, destruction, deconstruction. He's a deconstructionist, and it seems like surgical. Or I don't know, maybe not surgical, but it's like a demo job. Yeah, just put some fucking TNT in this and this and this, and just bam, the fucker will just collapse, and then we can just come pick up the pieces. We're gonna rob everybody blind because nobody ever thought of this before. So it's a win for America. A lot of people are happy to see it go. I guess that's the vibe. But what's that going to do to us? We're in it. I don't know. I guess it'd be a good time to get situated with, I don't know, a secure location somehow. Get comfortable. Get ready for who knows another lockdown. God knows what martial law. riots in the streets, unprecedented resistance. But he's already on the attack trying to, outlaw protests, take away federal funding from universities where people protest. It's an ambush. Everything is an ambush. Everything is like a surprise attack. It's like Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar. He just speared him right away. No time to fuck around. Just spear him right fucking away. And they'll never know what hit him. That's like the second Trump. Like they'll never know what hit him. Just boom, boom, boom. Charge. Attack, attack, attack. But we're survivors. We have peace and love in our hearts and light in our guitars. And the music is good. I mean, I'm proud of everything that we're doing. And it feels like I don't know, we're forging strong bonds and, there is a community of people that will take care of each other who, it was really, and I'll end on this. It was interesting last night because we had this whole last hour with some really good poetry and writing, and there was a lot of, this guy came in at the end, Banzer, and he works at the theaters around the neighborhood, and he's like the ultimate, like, kind of character who walks in, like, halfway through the movie that's just like, he's this big, kinda ass-kicking dude, beard, long hair, like, leather jacket, like, just kind of a badass dude. And so he went up last because he came in late, but he's cool. I've met him before, he's super amazing guy, and, his whole set was about killing Nazis, stacking Nazis, and how his grandpa killed Nazis and this and that, and I'm like, "This is the guy you want on your side." Like, this is the fucking, like, I don't know, Kurt Russell or fucking, whatever, like, the fucking dude who walks in and you're like, this is the Nazi killer or whatever that you're like, "Thank God this guy is on our team," because if there is some kind of fucking crazy, skirmish or whatever, and God forbid, praying that there isn't, hopefully we can peacefully resolve this because Trump is such a peacenik. He's all about peace, as we know. That was his big selling point. The Dems are the war hawks. He's the peace. He just wants peace. That's what the Oval Office thing was about. That was about peace. I haven't seen anything like that since. It reminded me of elementary school and middle school. The way that white kids would team up and bully you. They were usually preppy, and that's what that looked like to me. It looked like kids on the golf field being assholes, being mean as fuck, being bad, being evil, and yeah. So it was funny. It was almost like, and we were kind of talking afterwards and stuff. And it was kind of energizing, right? To have allies, have people that you feel like, okay, this person's on my side. Like this is a strong soul to kind of be like, you know, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows how far it's going to go? Maybe it's ridiculous to look at things that way, but uh, well, it came out. It was something that came out in the subject matter, and more. I think that's good. People are supporting. The open mic is a place where people can come and like Bathtub Nebula was saying, like we have to defend our turf. It was such a shock to me. And that's why I wanted to get involved in these McDougal Free Comedy Clubs because I'm like, they're all right wing comedy clubs now. Like these should be poetry coffee houses. These belong to the fucking beatniks and the fucking poets and the dreamers and the folk singers, and the artists, the beret wearing, croissant eating, goateed, bongo playing, drug addicts, dropouts, welfare recipients, lazy, ne'er-do-well, roustabout, ramblers, gamblers, stragglers, hagglers, uh, and now it's a bunch of fucking right-wing douchebag comedians who are like the super macho and they decided the election. And so I was trying to like infiltrate that space and kind of flip it, reverse gentrification. But I mean, KGB is the holdout. You know, we can be as liberal as we want to be. We can be as left as we want to be. And the audience seems to go for it. So it's open mic. That's the point. The First Amendment is so tied up in what it is and everything that we do as artists. And I think that's one of the things that sounds really scary to me about this is like that's typically what happens in these authoritarian countries, these autocracies, is they start to arrest the people that are the writers. You know, they arrest the poets. Those are the first fucking people. Walter Benjamin killed himself rather than face what was coming. And, all of those people in Europe fled to the United States. There was a huge influx in New York, especially, but all over the United States in the late 40s, in the 40s, and before the 30s. And it added a lot to this country, artistically and intellectually and whatnot, culturally and beyond. And okay, I'm gonna wrap up. Where are we going to go? Not Canada, Mexico. Where are we going to go? China? There'll be nowhere. I mean, if Europe is the whole world just going to turn into these kingdoms? Trump's going to have his kingdom. It's going to be all of North America, probably. He's going to change the name to Trump or something. Trumpistan. Somebody did mention that book, Dark Age Ahead, Jane Jacobs. I think it was the last book he wrote. I read it. They had it at the Brooklyn Public Library, and I did read it in like 2011 or 12. I don't really remember what the point of it was, except that like everything indicated we were about to enter like a new dark ages. I don't remember exactly why. You know, maybe just wealth inequality, corporate greed, all the typical, the environment collapse and all. And so this could be the real beginning. Maybe it'll be a golden age for Trump, but it'll be a shitty age for the rest of us, possibly. Or just get rich. Just get rich in the stupidest way possible. I thought I had to get rich through like talent or like creating. I didn't even want to get rich. I just wanted to live and create amazing things. If I amazing movies, amazing books, amazing music, amazing performances, amazing relationships, family, friends, moments, life, and is that so much to ask? Now Elon Musk is keep having kids, 14 kids. The rich can have these huge fucking families. The rest of us are not going to have any. That's wealth inequality. Homelessness is wealth inequality. Welcome if you got 'em. Thank you for watching. We'll see you online. I'll probably live stream the reading on Thursday, and who knows, maybe I'll film this fucking thing tomorrow or streaming or something. If it's depending on what it is, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do or involved. But thank you for watching, everybody. Godspeed, and God protect us all, and keep us safe. Let's just get through this as safely and, and as enjoyably as we possibly can. Once they start arresting the writers and the poets, unless you're some MAGA fuckface. I mean, a lot of them are fucking MAGA, right? They're not going to arrest Times Square people. They're going to arrest Hal Lynn. It's only going to be me. You read this guy's fucking zines. Throw him in fucking Guantanamo. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Let's hope it doesn't come.